sports fans, and welcome to another edition of NDB Media's Sports Talk with the Guys, home of the Monday morning quarterbacks on Saturday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the big show, the Saturday morning extravaganza. I'm the Scorekeeper, and it is March 5th, 2022. What a glorious time to be around, unless you're a baseball fan. Unless there's some baseball news that happened overnight that I don't know about. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you. We already have quite a few people watching us. Let us know who you are and where you hail from. Share the misery, but it's all good. Today, over here in world headquarters, it is 47 degrees. Star Trek fans of the world rejoice. 47 degrees. That's the magic number. It is cloudy right now, so it's going to get to an overnight of 40 degrees. So in about 24 hours, it's going to be 40 degrees. It's going to be colder. Wow. Jeez. It's going to get up to a high of 57, which is real nice, but it's still cold. It did rain last night, so I don't know if we have a prognosis of it raining today. Don't know. Apparently, it feels like it's 44, but as I mentioned, we're going to get to a high of 57, overnight low of 40. Humidity is 78%. I didn't notice that right now. Pressure is 30.02 inches. Visibility, allegedly on a cloudy sky, is 10 miles. Wind is 6 miles per hour to the northeast. I know, I have to do it geographically. Notice there's an axial, something axis. I know. And good morning, coffee. Up so early. Baseball is dead. Way too much to do this summer, and watching people stand around scratching their balls for 3 hours is at the bottom of the list. Everyone has a bucket list, and there you go. I don't believe it is on coffees. But good morning. The dew point is 41 degrees. UV index is 0 of 10. And, of course, we are in a waxing crescent for the moon phase. Wow. Let me take a quick look. Do we have any prognostication on rain? Well, no. We got a 14% chance in the area. So I guess that will be good right here in the world headquarters. So that's a quick look at the weather this morning. Oh, geez. Here you go. Why did the singer climb the ladder? To reach the high notes. A cute little girl walks into a pet store and asks in the sweetest little lips, "Excuse me, mister, do you keep widow wabbits?" As the shopkeeper's heart melts, he goes down on his knees so that he's on the level and asks, "Do you want a widow white wabby or a soft and fooey black wabby, or maybe one little cute widow brown wabby over there?" She in turn blushes, rocks on her heels, puts her hands on her knees, leans forward, and says in a quiet voice, "I don't think my pet python really gives a twit." No, I thought it was funny. We're going to take a quick look at history in sports. What do we have? Oh, today in 1953, Joseph Stalin died. I think he was unconscious or he had a stroke, and they didn't find him for like 6 hours because they're idiots, or they feared him, which is really kind of funny. But whatever. Today in 1840, the second Grand National, Bartholomew Bretherton wins abroad 16-1. Jerry, during then it was the smallest field of 13. Believe it or not. Seriously. Yeah. I'm waiting for the co-host to join me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I know you guys don't care. Could very well be. Want to appreciate the likes that we're getting internally, but I'll take them. That means several of the team members are already on, so that's really good. It's a jerk over in Russia right now, and he's trying to act like a strongman. In 1949, Bradman plays his last innings in a first-class cricket, and he gets 30. Of course, we're talking about Donald Bradman, a cricket legend. Back in 1977, the 24th ACC men's basketball tournament, North Carolina beats Virginia 75-69. Wow, go figure. In 1996, Earl Weaver and Jim Bunning were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, in 1997, on this day, Tommy Lasorda, Nellie Fox, and Willie Wells inducted to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. And 2009, Moises Alou, on this day, announces he will retire following the World Baseball Classic. Was I at that World Baseball Classic? I think I might have been at that one. One of my buddies at the time, John D'Ambrosio, and I guess I sold it away right there. He had a brother that was over. He used to work in the technology department at Dodger Stadium, so he would regularly get tickets, and I was able to go to the World Baseball Classic. So I don't know if it was 2009 or 2012. It's probably 2000. Actually, it might have been a little bit later. Don't know. Don't remember. Loved it. The Almighty is here. How are you, young man?
Not doing too bad. How you doing, Scorekeeper?
I'm spent, buddy. I'm just absolutely spent. I couldn't even get out of my room at 5:46 this morning. I've never been that late. Well, albeit on Monday night, we did have a guest on, Nick Valente, and I started the program 6 minutes late. It is not a good thing. It is not. But hey, it is what it is. But I want to remind my friends and compatriots that the AVP 2022 Pro Tour, no holding back, is going to be debuting this summer. While in May, almost exactly 2 months from now, the AVP Pro Series opens in Austin, and they're coming back after a 2-year hiatus. So looking forward to that. It's going to be in Austin, or the Austin Open. So exciting stuff, folks. AVP, look, I'm an old guy. Seeing girls in bikinis play a sport, I'm all right with that.
I am too.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Almighty. We just took a dive together.
No. I mean, I'm for equal rights if they want to, But
actually, I believe they should be wearing the same uniform that the men wear, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Aisha, or good afternoon. Top of the.
I think what you're talking about are those 80s high school movies or whatever, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah, I'll take it. Again, good morning, top of the morning to you there, Aisha. And of course, Tony Konopka, thank you for the likes. Do appreciate it. Love it, and absolutely awesome. In the ATP Tour, Indian Wells, PNP, Paribas Open 2022. So let's check out the dates. I believe it is happening this weekend. I will verify that. No, it's going to be on March 10th through March 20th. So it's coming up next week. I do apologize. I got it wrong by about 5 days. It is coming up. I knew it was sometime this week, but there it is. And
so are you waiting for your caffeine to kick in?
I don't have regular coffee. It's decaf.
Yeah, that's not going to help you any.
No.
Hello, Alicia. How you doing?
And again, good morning, Tony. So
Hey,
I wonder
Tony.
where in the world Tony is right now. That'd be kind of cool to check out. Very quickly as we go around this week in PGA, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Should have had a drink that was appropriate to this. It is at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida, March 3 through 6th. And right now, updated within 10 minutes, with 135 strokes. Wow. Way to go, Victor Hovland. Tyrell Hatton is at 137 -7, tied with Taylor Gooch, Rory McIlroy, and then coming in at 5th, Billy Horschel at -6, 138. Then you have a whole bunch of people tied at 6th. I'm just going to run through their names. It is, of course, Bo Hostler at -3, 141. Martin Laird, Paul Casey, Chris Howell, Patton Kizzire, Sam Burns, Cameron Young, and everyone else is tied for 13 in the PGA. Let's see if we have any LPGA events going on. Wow. Sentosa Golf Club in the Tajun course in Singapore. The HSBC's Women's World Championship. As of right now, in round, wow, Inji Chun is minus 12 at 204. Jeon Lees is minus 11 at 205. Jin Young Kuo is minus 11 at 205. Danielle Kang is minus 9, 207, tied with Athaya Thitikul and also Amy Yang. And coming in at 7th is Brooke M. Henderson of Canada at minus 8, 208. And then you have Hannah Green, minus 7, tied with Pajari. Anand Arukarn at minus 7 and 209. And then you have Nasa Hataoka of Japan at minus 6, 210, tied with Mijin Lee of Australia and Yalimi No of the United States. Oh, and Sue O as well. And Megan Kang. Everyone else is tied for 15th. Wow. You get tired pronouncing those names, man. Oh, man, the Lakers lost again to the Clippers, 132-111. Their season is quickly going to pot. Well, at least some people in Los Angeles are left to going to pot after they get beat. Wow. I just don't think they're going to do it. I had reservations on this team, but I didn't say very much about it. They looked old. They looked like a team I would field, and they're acting like it. They're getting beat bad, dude. Uh-oh, Almighty. You never look back. What happened? Was there movement?
No, I was just checking to see where my cat was.
Oh, you have one? Oh, yeah. How trivial.
Well, I'm not the cat. I'm not the cat lady like you are. So
legal counsel has advised me to ignore those questions. Dude, I'm tired, man. I really am. I finished up at, I don't know, I think it was 12:30 this morning, and I'm like, ugh. Oh, and we're getting an update also from Aisha. The Phillies beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 125-119. She's taking shots at you. She's taking shots at Big Dog. Well, good morning, Aisha. It must be that time. Good morning.
Big Dog.
What's up, everyone?
Not much.
What's going on, Big Dog?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interfere in something there?
No, just Roger's nap.
Oh. Oh, man. Don't even say that, man. It's hurting right now.
So what's Aisha doing now?
She's taking shots at everyone. She's taking a shot at the Cleveland fan. She took a shot at the Lakers. And there it is. Lakers lost 132-1. Oh, nice try. Nice try. Lakers 132-111 to the Clippers.
I know. The team sucks. I've been saying that for a while. Just want real quick though, you guys only have me for about 15 minutes right now. Unfortunately, my persona that's been buried and retired for the last 10 years is back again.
Hi. Your persona, which one is this?
Cheer Dad.
Oh.
My Cheer Dad persona is back.
All right.
Annika has a competition at Azusa Pacific today.
Awesome.
So I will be leaving at 6:30 to go pick her up because she has to be at the bus by 7 at her school. So I will be jumping in intermittently in between the time I leave in about 15 minutes to about 9 o'clock. I'll jump in back and forth.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And just real quick, I also want to What's Up Coffee, Aisha, Tony, and thank you everyone who for your kind words yesterday. It meant a lot. So thank you.
I called you.
I know.
I don't know if there were any kind words though, but I called you.
In your own manner, they were.
Oh, here we go. Well, I had I kid you not. I finished up at 12:30 this morning, but at least the client left gifts. So I'm going to partake with my coffee this morning. Some sort of strudel. Actually, it's a strawberry cheese Danish.
Are you allowed to have that?
It's not beef. Hold on. Moo. Let's see if it answers back. No. It answered back. It did not answer back. So, I just had the knife earlier. What did I do to it? Oh, there it is. There. I'm gonna partake. I'm sorry. I'm tired. So, good morning, Big Dog. What's going on? What's going on in Lakerland? Any brand new news or anything of note?
Yeah, we suck.
Okay. And moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. How we doing?
The latest news actually with the Lakers. There are unconfirmed reports as usual, but it I guess there was a talk between Russell Westbrook and the Lakers, and they have both agreed that this experiment did not work, and that I guess they asked Russ or Russ asked them. It's not really quite clear who asked who, but they both agreed that during the offseason he should find a new home away from Lakerland. So this was a total and utter failure on the level of a Mitch Kupchak, Joey Buss level F up. Because it cost us a lot of the young talent. It cost us a lot of the young talent that is flourishing elsewhere, and for nothing. So, what would actually be great if Mr. Westbrook had any ounce of dignity in him or honor in him, he would opt out of his contract because it's an opt-in situation for next season at $47.5 million, which, of course, he's not going to opt out of that. But if he were to have, any decency, he'd opt out, and we'd be done with it. But of course, that ain't going to happen.
Has he been talking crap about management or ownership or anything?
No, but he and I have said this before in his interviews, you can tell he doesn't get it. Now, Scorekeeper is going to know what I'm talking about. Almighty, I'm not sure how deep your championship roots are as far as when you hear people talk goes, but Westbrook gave after the Clippers beat the Lakers a couple of days ago. They asked him how he felt, the Lakers weren't doing so well and blah 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 and this and that, and he kind of went back and forth with the writer because the writer phrased it wrong, and he said you feel, and he's like, how do you know how I feel? So it was a little adversarial there, but he ended up saying, I had no expectations coming into this team at all, and that everyone under the sun, even Scorekeeper's favorite, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, came out, and that's one of the few times I agreed with him. When you're coming to the Lakers, you're wearing the purple and gold, one of the three probably most prestigious teams in the NBA ever, the other being the Knicks and the Celtics. You come to any one of those three teams, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Lakers, there's a certain honor and a loyalty, or however you want to say it, when you put on the jersey, especially the purple and gold. And to say that you had no expectations to win anything coming in, it's idiotic.
I think he should be a motivational speaker.
I missed you, Coffee. Where have you been, buddy?
Coffee?
I don't know why. Coffee.
He looks nothing like Coffee. First of all,
Almighty, I've missed you as well. I'm talking about I've missed you, Coffee. But Almighty, I got to tell you, that was great. And where have you been?
Here and there.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for joining us. Of course, the comment. Sorry, I had my hand
Yes,
full
they
there.
do.
Yeah,
Fourth expensive payroll in the NBA.
but the problem
And
with
their
the
luxury
Lakers,
tax, I figured it out the other day. It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of can't remember, it was 76 million or 86 million dollars is going to be their luxury tax.
that sucks. That's a lot.
Yep.
When they got Russell Westbrook, and in the deals that they had to do over the last year, the Lakers have been thinned out. If Russell Westbrook does not return, it's going to be
Well, even if he does, no,
devastating for the Lakers.
because you're going to love this one. If they can't trade him, they're talking about just releasing him outright, eating the $47.5 million contract.
If they eat it, what I remember, there was a rule within the
They can
last
stretch
5
it.
to 10
They can
years.
stretch it over 3 years, but
Okay.
that'll still cost them. Scorekeeper, you have the adding machine there. 47.5 million divided by 3.
It seems like what, about 18?
15.84.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
that
That's
18
exactly
point.
what you did say, young man.
No,
So
I just took it from you.
18.84. Would you say 18? 18?
Who?
15.84.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
So just about 16 million against salary cap for the next 3 years. That's a big hit.
Remember the idiots were talking about Kobe Bryant at the time when he signed that 2-year deal? What
Yes,
many
it
people
handcuffed
consider
us.
this.
Yes.
Okay. But someone was talking about taking that one-time opportunity, which I don't believe is in the contract anymore, where they could like say, okay, we screwed up, we're done, and something about the deal. Remember they were wanting to get rid of Kobe's deal? And these were the fans, not the team or anyone, but
Yeah, and it was the same thing. You would release him. You would. It's not like they could just null and void the contract. You would have to release the player,
well, what
and
was
you
the
eat.
deal then? But it was like a special one-time provision where you could get out from under it. You had to pay them, but it was a particular term. It wasn't amortized or something, but we were, it's like no one was going to do that. It was stupid. Had the Lakers done it, Kobe could have gone anywhere.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but yeah, and it's the same thing. It's a stretch. It's a stretch provision where you
Okay.
can stretch the contract out over 3 years.
All right. Well, I'm tired of shit, meaning I'm pissy as shit. I didn't think it was the stretch provision, but I'm way too tired. And Big Dog knows NBA better than me. So
And me.
What's happening in the talks?
they're very far apart. In the last vote by the owners, apparently the
Oh,
rules are, yeah, there's really not much. I can give you a tiny bit of dirt. In the last round of talks, there was a tiny break in the owners group, and it was really surprising. They need 23 owners to approve whatever they're going to do. And 4 owners voted against rejecting the MLBPA's last offer. Or no, I apologize. Major League Baseball's last offer. 4 owners actually voted against it as making it that offer and the final.
aren't they going to start again? I mean, they're thinking about starting over
Yeah,
because they're at this impasse and there's just nothing going on. And so I thought I saw a headline that they're going to, I probably have a story somewhere, but they're just thinking about starting all over. Did you see that, Raj? I know I saw it, but I don't know how true that is.
there is quite a bit of truth in that, and I do. It's funny. Both Big Dog and I, over the years, and even Almighty, we abhor what I'm about to say, but I actually have it due to my internal sources, due to my inside source that's pretty high up there. It was really disappointing on the deal or that Major League Baseball said this is our last best offer and that's it. Goodbye. We're done. Forbes, Money, and a few other places have been looking at it from a money perspective. And right now, the owners are really high up on the way baseball is operating right now. It's called consistency and certainty. As a business owner, this CBA that just expired was good for the owners, and it worked. Everyone knew you could run by the rules, and everything was going well. And it's business certainty, and I get it. Being a small business owner, you want your projections to be certain, and you rely on a lot. And I understand that concept. Whether I put it in practice or not, it's a whole different story altogether. But I get it. And this last CBA provided a great deal of certainty and consistency for them, and they don't want that to change. When you
I'll
look
be
at
back
it,
in 5-7 minutes.
thank you, Big Dog. Oh, so I guess he's going to be coming back in 5-7 minutes. We'll see how bigly the quickie can move. Sorry, I butchered my English, folks. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I need some help. Give us some comments. Here's Aisha says, seems as if the Knicks have gone down 114-115 against the Suns. Thank you, Aisha. And we have a living scoreboard right here. She's from across the pond. So,
Yeah, but her results are a day late.
And maybe $1 short.
Yeah,
so it's all good.
No, we appreciate it. We don't always see all the scores.
Yeah.
So, what about? I mean, I saw a thing here, and I'm going that baseball wants to ban the shift, and also put up the score and put up the clock by 23, if there's still baseball.
Joey Gallo, a notorious pull hitter, was quoted as saying, I just, something has to be done about the shift. I just don't know. It's out of control, and something has to be done about the shift. Well, someone's retort to that was, gee, the year that what's-his-face hit 406, they shifted as well. And somehow he found how, get the hits. Dude, his comment was, I don't know how you can get a double or triple if you got 6 guys in the outfield. Dude, you hit where you use
There's
the
a hole.
Yeah, you use the American axiom from the Pacific Theater of War. You hit them where they ain't. Dude, it's old. It's simple. You're a left-handed batter. Everyone is on the right side of the field. Why? Because you're stupid. You are such a stubborn, anal idiot that you just have to pull everything. Dude, hit the ball the other way. See, all your only skill is hitting dingers that go to right field. Dude, try hitting the other way.
True story.
Joey Gallo, yes, true story. Joey Gallo, you are an embarrassment to your profession. And speaking of not being an embarrassment, it's funny, we lose the big dog, and not a minute later, we get Speedy. How you doing, Speedy?
Good morning. How are you guys?
How you doing, Speedy? How's your morning going?
Good. Good. Gotta get it started off. What's that?
Said you having a good time?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad someone's having a good time. But Coffee does say, if they're throwing everyone to the right of the field, learn how to bunt, you clown. I agree. Learn how to go the other way. When I played baseball, it used to make me laugh because my aim was to hit the ball hard right back at the pitcher. So I was trying to go back up the middle. But I would go to left field. I would go to right field. But I did not have the skill of holding back and then yanking it to right field. If I hit the ball to right field, I was as behind as anyone, and I got a hit to right field. If I hit it to left, I was way ahead of the pitch.
You just take what they give you. I mean, if they're leaving a hole, a big hole in between center and right or left, that's where you put it and get your base hit, or you try to spack it by them and get to the wall. But I mean, that's what you do. And then they don't know where to play you. So if they shift, in the outfield. Then you go the other way, and then they're all confused because they don't know what you're going to be doing. Now, if I only could do that, but that it'd be fine.
And Chris, yes, I agree. Some people are really good at it. I was not, but there was never a shift for me. They always played me straight away, but I was a singles and a doubles hitter, and I really didn't have very much power. Even in the small fields, I just didn't. My job was to get on base. Seriously. I was a very light hitting first baseman. My average was high, but very little power, but I got on base. When I played, let's see, I think my last average was 316, 317. Understand, you're playing semi-pro ball. Some guys have their averages in the 400s. There's even some of them that go into the 500s, okay? So my average was 317, but my on base was almost 500. So I used to get a lot of walks, and it was real easy. I was one of the taller guys on my team, so all my buddies on the team, my teammates, they would all swing for the fences. They had power, and I was taller than most of them, and I'd come up hitting ninth, and I would laugh when the outfielders would take a few steps back. Like, idiots. And then you get a jam shot right over second base. It was funny. But seriously, I knew where I was hitting in the lineup that my job was to get on base, and that was it. So I did take a lot of pitches. I did earn a lot of walks. And, but hitting the other way, yeah. Now, Chris, I think the shift makes an already slow game slower. Okay. I'm not willing to argue that.
Well, that was my thought behind it too. They want to have more runs, but I'm not for it. I mean, I'm not even for the time clock, but that's just me.
What were they saying about the clock now? Oh, go ahead, Speedy. Sorry.
Well, then I was going to bring up another thing, is that this whole lockout thing, it's disrupting the fans and stadium employees. And someone said earlier this week, all over what amounts to crumbs for these billionaire owners. And then another article that I found this week had said, are the Major League Baseball owners even trying? Because at this point, they canceled everything.
Yeah, they've actually canceled the first two series of the year, which is basically the first week of baseball. And as we get to, I guess, Sunday or Monday, we'll be canceling another week. Because baseball has learned, and we did mention it briefly, that these players need 30 days to get ready. Last time they had a short warm-up, a short spring training to get back into it, a lot of players got hurt. Numbers are there. They need to do the proper stretch. I myself didn't do it when I returned to season. My second week, I blew my arm out. I could not throw for about 2 weeks, and I was playing first base, folks. Thank goodness there was never, there was nothing. When I would throw the ball in the infield, it was sidearming it to get it out to them so they could throw it back. But I needed a proper 30 days as well, and I get that. So that's what's going on. The USA Today has an article this morning about the stadium workers, and says we are the same as stadium workers prepare for a pinch of Major League lockout. They understand the players fight. So there he is. Good morning, Big Dog. Hey, he got in on his own.
Yay! What's
up, Big Dog?
How's it going? Actually, it's cheer dad today.
Arf. Arf. Should have been like that. Arf.
Pretty much.
Apparently, the Major League Baseball Players Association, or some players themselves, started a $1 million fund for stadium workers who face financial hardship during the lockout. When opening day arrives at Seattle's T-Mobile Park remains deserted to a Major League Baseball lockout, Otis Williams will have to come up with a plan B. As a cook who pulls together a full-time income working Seattle's major sporting venues, Williams will see his most plentiful and consistent source of income the 81 Seattle Mariners home games choked off. So Williams, who's 47, worries about providing for his 5 children, ages 7 to 23, and coming up with quarterly tuition payments for his daughter, who studies nursing at Eastern Washington University. So it's interesting that the Seattle Seahawks spend or have a $22 minimum wage for concessionaires.
Wow, that's good.
So they do see a common cause with the players, and I don't believe this is 1994 again. Because you really had 2 camps. You had everyone who was on the owner's side and everyone who was on the player's side. And I remember in 94, and I was on the wrong side of history as well. I was supporting management, and I cannot believe I was. Look, I don't know about you guys. I've talked about it in the past. Look, if I were in their spot, if you were in their spot, you would want to be paid what you believe you're worth. And if you had the opportunity to earn the money, you'd want to get it paid with no limitations.
I agree. One quick question though. That gentleman.
Go cheer, Dad.
It's 81 games. If he sells concessions and such, it's 81 games. That's just shy of 3 months of work. And at $24 an hour, I'm sorry I'm pretty sure it's not an 8-hour a day job. And if he's counting on this to support his family, he must have another job. I think anybody that's a concessionaire has another job. So,
well,
I
apologize, Big Dog. Maybe you just didn't hear in the background, but I did say that he is a cook who pulls together a full-time income working Seattle's major sporting venues. So his most plentiful and consistent source of income, the 81 Seattle Mariners games, are going to be choked off. So he works at many. And,
okay. Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry, Big Dog. We just move on. So he says, we are the same. I let people know, well, they're not all millionaires. And it's true, they're not. Especially the minor league guys. But we're definitely with the players, because these billionaire owners, they weren't worried about the stimulus check. They weren't worried about none of that stuff. We're all fighting for livable wages. I know that all players are not millionaires, and they have families and have worked their butts off to get where they're at. And yes, I get that part of it. Everybody has bills. A baseball player has been doing that since they were 7 years old. Okay. That's all they know. And they get hurt a lot and can't play all the time, and they're going to need a pension or medical later in life. It's just like us. So.
Yeah, but they already have that. He's talking like they don't have that. They all have pensions. They all have insurance when they get hurt. I mean, he's making it sound like they're getting paid 5 cents an hour, in a sweatshop. And that's not the case.
Fair enough. Rob Manfred had a Tuesday announcement where he was laughing, and it was very inappropriate.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
This is Manfred's problem. He has been screwing around. The guy is just not appropriate for what he's doing. And it's just, he's making baseball look bad. And he has to go. Roger Noriega for commissioner. And I will return justice and honor to the commissioner's position.
So.
And forthrightness. Ooh, you like that one?
So the clock is 23. As with the shift, it'll be 23. And I think in 24, they want the bigger bases.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So changes ahead if they ever play again. So we'll have to wait and see.
What the hell is bigger? Seriously, they want bigger bases?
That's what it says here. Yeah.
They've been talking about that for a little while now. Yes.
Why?
Okay. Well, I forget the reason why, but it's just, I guess, they have a better chance of getting back to the base, and they have a chance of being safe. Coffee says, I have no problem with Manfred laughing at that point. The players are making just awful demands. Okay, appreciate that, Coffee. I would say they're in negotiations, and both sides demand till you get to a mutual spot. The problem is they're not talking. I don't know if the demands are really bad. I haven't given it that much thought. I've only been acknowledging what the demands are. Look, what they're really looking at are the manipulation of the contracts, which is an entire year of career time. So they're against that, and they want the pool money for the players that could earn, like in their first year and second year. If they do very well, they will be compensated. Major League Baseball has edged up. I believe they're between 10 and 20 million. The players are still at like 90 to 100 million. So that is colossal. But when you look at the amount that they're apart, come on, man. Come on. Split the damn number down the middle and get it done. They've already agreed to I don't think the players have agreed to the use of universal DH, but it's going to happen. So that's another full-time position for players. But the what is it? Not the maximum, but it's 224 or 228 million where the luxury tax kicks in, and the players want that moved, and the owners will not move it until the fourth and fifth years of the contract, and it's very little. The owners wanted to keep it at 224. The players want it at 238 minimum, and to go up every year. So, I believe basketball, Big Dog, resets every year, doesn't?
Yeah, and it's based on profits and so on and so forth from the previous season. So I don't see how if they agree to something like that, where it's looked at every single year and it could change every year because it goes up and sometimes it goes down. The players don't like it when it goes down, of course, but when they're shown the paperwork saying, "Hey guys, we all lost money across the board, players and owners, so it has to go down." When you have the numbers behind it, like you say, numbers don't lie, then there's nothing the players can disagree upon. And when they see the numbers, they're like, okay, well. And then when the numbers go up, and then the salary luxury tax goes up, of course the players aren't complaining that the owners have to pay more. It's never that way. Anyways, I'll be right back, guys.
Chris had a comment that I didn't get to earlier when he said baseball games are averaging 40 to 50 minutes longer than 20 years ago and less hits. Yes. We briefly mentioned that the action in between, I think it's like 7 to 8 minutes in between stuff that happens in baseball. That is an all-time high or an all-time low of inaction. And that was one of the major reasons why Major League Baseball instituted the rule where pitchers have to pitch to a minimum of 2 batters and you have a pitch clock. You have 30 seconds or whatever to throw a pitch from the last, or 18. I forget what the number is because I've been to several stadiums, and when I catch the pitch clock, it's always at a different number. So I don't know what the actual pitch clock is right now. Look, baseball has slowed down. I believe you should make the rules very simple. You can't step out of the box until you have a first strike. It's very simple. And that's it. Pitchers, you want to control the thing about all the pitching changes. Limit the number of pitchers on the team. That's it. You can only make so many changes. Come on. When you're carrying 15 pitchers, give me a break. Now, Coffee did say earlier that they want bigger bases to limit the amount of collisions between base runners and fielders. And then Aisha says, I can't see a bigger base preventing collisions. A guy running is just heading for that base, and the baseman is trying to stop him. without being overly pedantic, the runner has access to the base. He cannot be blocked. It's very simple in the rules. If they're blocked, it's interference. So now, if they're making the play, that's different. But again, they have to be blocked. They should have free access to the base. Whether it's going to cut down on collisions or not, I don't know. I sure you've got to get these stupid base runners from running directly into the fielders, especially the catcher.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The size of the base is not gonna make a difference.
No.
They'll still go into the the second baseman or the third baseman or the shortstop or whoever it may be, and they need a bigger base so when they have to get back to the bag they can reach it. No, it's stupid. I'll make it smaller. Make it the size of the baseball.
Yeah, I
Make
mean,
it fun.
that's not going to change anything. We've seen guys slide in every which way possible, and then 30 seconds later they're like, well, wait a minute, we've got an injured player here, we got a timeout. So then they take the timeout, the umpires just stand there. But Scorekeeper, going back to what you said earlier, you mentioned something very interesting
Good morning.
that was brought up on a sports show on the radio
Hey,
here
everyone.
in the area.
Sorry to interfere, Matt. It's my daughter. Say hi.
Morning.
Morning.
Good
Dozens
luck
of people
today.
all over the world are watching you.
Yeah,
It's more than that.
a lot more. But yeah, going back to your point, Scorekeeper, when you brought up the fact about how much time you have in the batter's box, which was my point last year and in previous years, where the umpires are like, strike. It's like, what are you talking about? He didn't even swing. But then the league's like, yeah, he swung. And I'm like, no, I don't think he swung. Then the Angels manager, we know what happened with that 2 years ago. He came out there and started arguing that he was just preparing. He didn't even swing. And the umpires were like, no, he swung. One more effort from you, and we're going to eject you from the game. And I'm like,
Sometimes it is very questionable, these umpire calls. But look, it is part of the game where umpires will get the call wrong. But most of the time, I'm generalizing, but the umpires get them right most of the time. Sometimes they're egregious, and you would think that would be the role of replay, is to correct the errors, and they don't. And that's why I really have no opinion. I don't care for replay. How many? Do we know what a catch in the NFL is? Do we? I mean, seriously, we don't, because of all this. No, because of all what's going on with the NFL replay. But anyway, be that as it may, in Major League Baseball, I don't understand. Well, in football and in baseball, I don't understand what is. Oh well, they've run out of appeals, so they can't. It was an obviously bad call, and they can't appeal it. Well, look, I've proven to you how you can appeal anything, and you can protest anything. It amazes me how stupid people are, even in the game of baseball. Dick Hauser, God rest his soul, I think he passed away, and several other managers, they actually knew the rules. And I told you, when Andres Galarraga, when that last, not Andres, but the son of Galarraga, when he was throwing the perfect game, and the umpire called him safe on an obviously bad call that 18 billion people, yes, I know there's only 8 billion, but whatever, before and after, 18 billion people in the world knew that it was wrong. Everyone was, I can't do anything. Yeah, you can. You can protest the game. Say, but wait. You cannot argue a judgment call. Yes, you can, you jackasses. What you do is you appeal it under the interpretation that the umpire misinterpreted the rule. That application exists today. Why do teams protest? Because of an umpire's interpretation of the rule. Come on! I mean, how stupid... Oh, okay, I'm sorry, we're talking about baseball here. All right, whatever. And honestly, I was the only one screaming when the perfect game was blown. Well, there's nothing you can do. Yes, you can. And it just amazed me. And there were a few other people that wrote some articles weeks after my tirade. But guys, you watch the old coaches or managers and see what they did, and you look at how they filed their protests and got away with filing the protest, whether Major League Baseball did it or not. Hey, look, in 1983, George Brett used pine tar on his bat, and it exceeded the length of home plate. So, in other words, George Brett used pine tar for a better grip, and he would rub the pine tar for the for the stickum, basically. Well, he'd rub it on there, and it went a little too far up. The rules are very explicit and very clear. It cannot exceed the length of home plate. Simple. It is simple. It's in the rules, and all players know it because teams go over it with their players. So for them to say, "Oh, I didn't know," it's bullshit. Bullshit. It's bullshit. So whatever. George Brett hit a home run off Rich Gossage, and Billy Martin, the sly fox that he was, called for the bat. He says, "Hey, look, it's it's going way beyond." And they measured it, and the umpire called George Brett out on the rules. It was appealed. It was protested, as you all know, in the greatest fallacy of 1983. Major League Baseball ruled, well, the intent is that the pine tar did nothing. Okay, if you're not going to follow the rules, then why do you even have them? So,
I believe Tony has a message for you in the chat room.
I'm sorry.
That's a good one, Tony.
Oh my God! Yes. All right. Yeah, it's brought up a few times. All right, Tony. I am being pedantic. I'm so sorry. And the big dog is back.
Oh, I've been back. I just been silent.
Did you just drop her off right now?
Talking to the bus. I was right behind the bus. So now I'm gonna go get Kathy.
Get on the bus, go.
God.
And then
did you just
come back, shower real quick, change? Who's swearing at themselves?
Well, Almighty said, God, Almighty, get on the bus, Gus. I mean, it was that. I mean, the funny thing is Almighty remembered the song. Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But Scorekeeper, when you were injured, did you take any ibuprofen or anything like that for your injury for baseball, or no?
That might be a HIPAA violation, so I'm not prepared to discuss that with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. I did that on purpose because, the Sarah Palins of the world, all those idiots. No.
What did you just say? You go crazy when I even hint at saying something like that, and that just rolled off the tip of your tongue like you say it all the time. Unbelievable.
I meant the Karens of the world. Oh my God, my daughter and I ran some errands on Wednesday.
Still, you did it again.
Hey, I'm tired. I'm flustered, dude. What can I say? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Jimo and I we had to go. I think we were at Target, and as we were alighting from our vehicle, we saw this lady walk by, and they said, "Holy crap, Jimo, take a few steps back. That's a Karen if I've ever seen one." And even my daughter was like, "Here, let's go back to the car." It was just so funny. She fit the profile, looked like it was on a mission, and we're like, "Oh man, just get your camera ready because this one might roll out of the store." But I saw a few Karens over the week, so let's see. Coffee says the new Forbes lists come out, and Miami are the only team in baseball not worth $1 billion. However, they now have a chance for a bright future as the most overrated baseball player in my lifetime, says Coffee, no longer is a part of the club. That's Derek Jeter, folks.
Yeah.
And I believe Coffee is talking about Derek Jeter being overrated for his defense. Or, as some would say, lack thereof. Big Dog?
Oh, I was saying, see what happens. He loses Jennifer Lopez, and then he loses the Miami.
Jeter? No, Jeter was not with Jennifer. That was A-Royd.
Oh.
Hey, did you guys see that?
They're all the same.
Okay. Well, there you go. And he goes after me for the Karens of the world. It's all the same. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Big Dog, but that's okay. We'll move on. And as a matter of fact, Stephen A. Smith, there was a tiny bit of a dust-up, and I did laugh about it because I'm not saying I came to Stephen's assist, but apparently Stephen got shown up because in the world of basketball, Stephen A. Smith said Steph Curry is in the top 10 of NBA all time. And I think the entire world said, you're full of it. And they were saying, that, oh my God, the drama, the situation that Stephen A. Smith has gotten himself in. It was nothing. It was a comment on a program. He believes Stephen A. Smith should be one of the top 10 greatest of all time. He is not. Clearly. It's his opinion, but whatever. Big Dog, is Stephen A. Smith one of the 10 greatest of all time?
You mean Stephen Curry?
Yeah, that's what you meant.
Whichever one. Yeah, well, don't care.
He is tired today. Look at that.
He is the best shooter of all time, but the way they put it, and if you saw that clip, which was about 2 minutes,
Yes, I did.
the guy that was going against him phrased it perfectly, and I love it. And this is like Rachel Nichols always used to phrase her questions when you're talking about a list. If you're gonna put someone in the list, who do you take off? So he started going down the line. Is Stephen Curry better than Michael Jordan? No. Is Steph better than LeBron? No. Is Steph better than Kareem? No. Is Steph better than Wilt? No. Is Steph better than Magic? No. That's five already.
Well, hold on. He did say, he was just a point guard. I'm like, oh my God, Stephen A. Smith.
So is Steph. He's just a point guard.
But I forget the guy. It's not Kellerman. Kellerman is the one that got fired. But I think it's Mad Dog, whatever they call him. He said, wait a minute. You're going to tell me that when the game is on the line, you're going to take Magic Johnson over Steph Curry?
Well,
if you want a championship game.
The other guy was taking Magic Johnson.
Right,
Stephen
that's
A.
what
Smith
he said.
He said you're going to take. Well, he's asking Stephen A. Smith, so you would take Steph Curry over Magic Johnson? Not the other way around.
And he actually said he stuttered on his way.
And he would not answer.
Yeah.
So Stephen A. knew that, okay, so he's not better than Magic. That was 5. He's not better than Bird. That's 6. I mean, and that's where the clip ended. So it's always.
They also mentioned the Boston great that won 11 championships.
Yeah, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Okay,
Russell.
so that's 7. So now you're up to 7. So the way he had it phrased, and it's like I said, the way Rachel Nichols always used to say it. Okay, if you're putting Steph Curry on, who are you taking off? And at that point, that's when you're like, oh, well, no, he's still top 10. No, who do you take off? And it depends who those last couple of players are in the top 10. Steph may make the top 10. He's definitely not top 5. So, Steph is a fringe top 10 player. Let's put it that way.
Wow. All right. Cheer Dad / Stephen A / Big Dog. What my point was when I posted the article, I said, look, it was a conversation. It's his opinion. Most people believe Stephen A. Smith is wrong. That's it. It's done. Who cares? Move on. It's all that it is. But they were trying to make it out, when I say they, other people in media forums. Stephen A. Smith did look bad when he was trying to defend his point. And it was funny from that perspective. Because he got put in a corner.
and that's why everybody loved it, because Stephen A got put in a corner, because he never is. He's always able to shout his way out of it or actually articulate his reasoning. But this time he got called, and he couldn't justify his pick, of Steph Curry. So that's what everybody was talking about, is the fact that, Stephen A got put in his place for once, one of the few times, because it doesn't happen very often. So, he's just not used to being called out like that. Get out of the way, goddammit, idiot.
Let me guess, somebody didn't use a turn tickle there, Big Dog?
Well, it's kind of hard to drive when he's starting to come into my lane for no reason at all, other than he's passing a 18-wheeler and doesn't like it.
Yeah. You should have seen what I saw last night. There was a GMC truck that deliberately tried to cut off a gas tanker truck right down the street at the gas station here. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know those things explode, right? They honked at each other, and the guy just got out of his truck, and he tried to do something with the truck driver, and the truck driver just like, move out of the way. He got in the street, and I was like, man, if the cops show up, I'm going to laugh, because you're actually blocking the road by getting out of your vehicle to confront the truck driver who's just trying to do a gas delivery or something.
Coffee had a comment that Curry, it says, an argument can be made Curry isn't even as good as Lillard. Damian Lillard, I believe.
That's laughable.
There we go. So you can make the argument, but it's a Stephen A. Smith argument. It falls on its face.
Yeah, thank you, Coffee, for that. That's why a lot of people, including myself, don't really care for Stephen A. Smith. Let's move on.
Yeah, I don't think I care for him either, but the entire thing was blown out of proportion by other people. But yes, seen him put in his place. But folks, if you think about it, every time Stephen A. Smith was put in his place, it's because he himself said what he did. And hey, move on, folks. It's his opinion. I don't agree with it. I don't think Big Dog agrees with it. I don't know about Almighty. What does the Almighty say? Not Almighty, but the Almighty.
I never agree with Stephen A. Smith.
Amen.
I don't think I agree with him either. Yeah, Big Dog. I don't think we've ever agreed with him, right?
Very few times. I mean, sometimes he will get something right. I mean, but it's like the old saying. Sometimes, even the sun shines on a dog's ass. Sometimes.
Well, there you go. Coffee is going to bat. Lillard has averaged more points and assists per game in his career, and less than half a rebound a game difference. And there you go. Thank you for that, Coffee.
That's fine, but if you talk to anybody that's been watching the NBA for any number of years that gets paid to do it, on the list, Lillard is nowhere near Steph Curry on that list. On the top 75 players, he made it, but I wouldn't put him over to Steph Curry. If the game is on the line and you need a three-pointer, are you going with Lillard or are you going with Steph? I'm going with Steph.
So the top 10 was only about current players, not past players like Michael Jordan, right?
No, it was the 10 greatest of all time in the NBA. The top 10 greatest players.
When I was naming those 10 players, every single player I named was retired already, Matt.
And one or two were dead already either.
Yes.
Coffee, I don't think that is a question of Damian Lillard, but look, you can have a guy that can hit 47 home runs on a team, on a last place team, makes him good, but does it make him, that good? I mean, and when it comes to winning, it's about championships, and I will give it to Steph Curry on that. He has what, 2 of them or 3, Big Dog?
3.
He has 3 rings. Good for him. He has a cute daughter too.
Well, Big Dog, when you had mentioned that, your phone had cut out, so that's why I mentioned it.
Okay.
All right. Well, gentlemen, you are listening and watching and tolerating Sports Talk with the Guys, home of the Monday Morning Quarterbacks on Saturday here in our environment on a glorious morning. It is March 5th, 2022. and we are now in the third month of 2022. The prognosis for COVID is looking great, thank goodness. The economy is what it is. We've got stuff going on to the east of us, which is really, really sad right now. But that's about it as far as current events. We're an hour and 5 minutes in. We're ready to continue. I'm going to say, Speedy, what do you want to get to this morning?
Well, I have a serious topic to get to, but first, just like to say it's a nice 48 degrees here up in Northern California in San Andrew. I don't know what the weather is like for you, Scorekeeper.
I believe I was at 47 when I started. Almighty.
Yes.
How bone-chillingly cold is it where you're at?
Oh, we're at 44.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
We're going to be near 70.
Summer weather.
We're going to be near 70 today. So.
Wow, this is typical Pomona weather. When I began the program, it was 47 degrees. Now it's 46. So it's going to be cold for about another hour, and then it'll start picking up. But it's only going to get to 57 today. So Almighty's going to get to 70? Yeah,
yep.
Rat. Good for you, Almighty. How about you up there, Speedy, in San Leandro, California?
Oh, it's going to be a glorious day. It's going to get up into the 70s and probably 75.
Oh, wow. No, it's going to remain cold today. Oh, all right. Well, now we got the weather. Go ahead, Almighty. Sorry, Speedy.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody heard about Stanford University star Katie Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Her parents feel that there was a lot of pressure put on her, and I used to play soccer as a kid, so I can understand that. Like, because in her situation, she was kind of in the same deal that I was in, where she wanted to play goalie, and that's what she was doing at Stanford. But then she was like, well, I also want to be on the field for the offense. I want to get the ball and take it from the other person. That's what I was doing as a kid. I was playing both sides. I guess I can do the goalie, but I'm also going to get on the field and probably knock out another kid, make them cry in the process. And I guess for women, I can't really speak for women because, I'm a guy. So, but I think the pressure was getting to her about what she had to do and how she had to do it. But I mean, her parents said that they spoke with her 3 hours before the incident happened. And so, well, she was very happy and she was a little frustrated, but she was the same usual self. And then this happened. So.
Yeah, it's disappointing, folks. I did put a link in the chat room for those that want to see the article. The one that I chose was and is from Fox News. She took her life. She was 22. As some people said, Katie Meyer, beloved, talented, and respected Stanford student, athlete, and Santa Clara County resident. She took her life. For someone so young it's just disappointing. My thoughts, my condolences are with the family. To have to lose a child, it is my greatest. You know what? Don't even want to say that. It's just, anything else could happen. And I've known people that have lost a child, and they're just not the same. And it's just sad for parents to have to. And she's in the flower of her youth, 22, doing well at the sport that she played. It's just disappointing. You did hear about that, right, Almighty?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, it was. I think it was about a day or two ago, right, Speedy, where they determined that she had passed away due to suicide.
I don't know how I overlooked it, but I guess I did.
And they were women's soccer championships, I believe, a year or 2 years ago, maybe even further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a shame. As you know, folks, if you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. You know, folks, most of the time when people do this, they don't say anything, but there are signs, there are symptoms. But people who do say it also do it. So, make sure you keep talking. But as one teacher did tell me many, many years ago, if someone is in that situation, you know what you're supposed to ask them, right? The one question is why? Why do you want to do this? And you got to get them talking. You got to get them to have a conversation with you, and you talk it through. I've had students or classmates that have committed suicide, but after school, obviously, years after, and I wouldn't have known because I was not in their circle, but I've had it happen. Almighty, you've known people that have committed suicide, right?
Yes.
Speedy?
Yeah, I mean, I shared that just a few months here ago on the show.
Yeah.
About my friend in Newark when she was telling me about, her parents were getting a divorce, her and her sister didn't like it. I said, well, let's go to the mall, let's go hang out. And we were just, really good friends. We stayed at the mall like forever. And then I ended up walking her home and like, okay, well, I'll see you at church, I guess. And she's like, yeah, I'll see you at church. 2 weeks later on that Saturday night, the phone call came in at like 11:30 at night. And my mom goes, it's the youth pastor for you. And I go, oh, okay. And I thought he was going to be like, can you come in early tomorrow and help set up chairs? Or something like that, or something with music. But it was about her. And he goes, she's gone. I'm sorry. She just did the unthinkable. I was like, how? I just talked to her. We just spent all day at the mall. He's like, I know. Like, what exactly happened? He's like, well, I'll tell you. I've been telling everybody else because we know the media's going to blow it differently. She jumped in front of a train, supposedly. I was like, so that's how that went down. I'm like, I thought I got through to her about that, but I guess not.
I'm sorry, Speedy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Big Dog has had someone that he knows as well that he's lost. We all have, folks. It is. And
No, I've been fortunate.
you have.
I've had people that attempted, but I've never had anybody that completely went through with it. No, I've been fortunate in that part.
All right. Well, the article is in the chat room, folks. If you want to take a look at it, it's just like I say, and this is the only one that made the news because she was in college, because she was a star athlete. But this happens every day in many corners of the world, and for many other reasons. It's just really sad. All right, fair enough. Almighty, something you want to get to?
I guess we will talk about Joe Buck going to ESPN, perhaps, if they can trade him for something good. But they're negotiating with him, so he will join Troy Aikman in the booth on Monday night.
Wow. Okay, so rumors are they're talking about it, or it is done.
I think, but Troy Aikman's going.
Oh yeah, that one's done.
But the last article I read that they are negotiating Fox and ESPN. They said they're worried about I don't know what Fox wants, because I mean he still has 1 year left on his contract with Fox, as far as I know, and so they might make some kind of deal like when ABC, traded that mouse for Al Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're going to trade, but because last year they missed out because they tried very hard to get Tony Homo last year, and they missed out on that. So maybe, but everyone said that at one point or time in his career. So anyway, but I guess this time they want to get all of them. I mean, they want to make sure they don't miss out, because the Monday Night Football has not had the same luster for a long, long time. So having both of those on for ESPN will give them a big boost. So I don't know, but I know that there are discussions, but I don't know if it's going to work or not.
The Monday night game, when it was on ABC, was the marquee game. You had up to 4 or 5 guys doing the calling, and it's worked. There's always been changes, but you had your stalwarts that were there, and you'd have a guy come in and out over the years. But what's been going on with ESPN on Monday night, it's just there's been so many issues. There's no consistency, and I guess Troy Aikman is the first step in doing that. And he's a color commentator. He's good at what he does. So, wow, leaving Fox, I was genuinely surprised. I just didn't expect him to move. I was used to Troy Aikman calling the marquee game on Sunday on Fox.
Well, I don't. I'm trying to figure out how, ESPN. I mean, ESPN couldn't afford Tony Romo. Tony Romo last year. So I don't know what they did to get Aikman this year. I guess they must have really put up this year just to. I mean, he's going to demand money too, Aikman. So I don't know, but it'd be interesting if they could somehow. I mean, I guess the icing on the cake if they could get Joe Buck. So I mean, I don't know what Fox will do after that to replace them, but that's not my problem.
Well, Fox has been scrambling because everybody wants to go to ESPN because of all these multi-billion-dollar package deals. Because at the very same time, Brian Grief last week gave his notice to ESPN. I'm leaving. I'm going to go be an offensive coordinator. I'm going to be a coach again. And they're like, okay. He's like, or I might go to Fox. But Brian Grief is definitely not doing that. He's going back to coaching. He'll be replacing Frank Arville's place in San Francisco, who will have to become Kentucky's offensive coordinator. So
it's interesting how Disney Plus and ESPN Plus has been able to change the landscape, because not too long ago, folks, ESPN was getting rid of all of its major talent. Remember? They were wholesale firings, letting them go. They were, for lack of a better word, local talent coming up and replacing the big names. I don't watch ESPN SportsCenter for that very reason. I just don't recognize these people, and there's just nothing to it. I'd rather just read it on my own or catch it somewhere else. And now ESPN is switching gears and is starting to bring back expensive talent. Wow. That's interesting. They're spending money again. Did they learn their lesson, or did ESPN Plus change the game? Because remember, ESPN was losing, oh my God, what was it, Big Dog? Like 200,000 subscribers a month?
Something like that.
It was horrendous, the bloodletting. And everything, I guess things are stabilized now.
Well, ESPN is hiring or bringing back or retaining that high price talent because they're realizing they're not the only game in town anymore that can do a very good job. Because there's a lot of outlets out there now that a lot of these announcers can go to, and they're realizing that. So now, if they want to keep an Aaron Andrews or someone of that magnitude, they're gonna have to pay. Whereas before they were like, sure, go ahead, leave. We don't care. We'll replace you with someone else. And they're realizing, well, maybe we made a mistake on that.
And also, they let them go if they say the wrong thing. So, in their opinion, if somebody says the wrong thing, well, then they're gone. But anyway,
I'll be back soon.
All right, Big Dog. Thank you.
be careful.
Be careful out there. As a matter of fact, over the years, we'd actually talked about that, how ESPN had gotten into trouble because of its on-air commentators, especially in the wee hours of the morning. You get these commentators that know what's going on, and they've got to be ready to go whenever there's breaking news or some story or whatever, but they have blown, whatever. Why would anyone want Aaron Andrews? I don't know. The Big Dog did, I guess. So, go figure.
Maybe he has a crush.
Could very well be. ESPN went away from that, and then, of course, there was the subscriber letting, where they were just losing so many people. But ESPN anchors, hosts, everything were saying stupid stuff on a regular basis and getting in trouble. And it was usually in the wee hours of the morning. And I guess they've kind of fixed that because they haven't had anything happen in a while. Because when you get people who fear for your job or for their job, I guess they are a little more in line. But I don't know if you guys have noticed. Look, SportsCenter, before we go live, the team, oh, good God. I mean, they're like a bunch of gamers calling sports. And I know the audience has shifted or what they're trying to target, but do they realize that gamers are not awake at that hour? Because they're at night gaming, so I don't get it.
They don't they don't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean, they spend all night gaming, and then they're passed out by the time their first show comes on. But I haven't watched SportsCenter for a long time.
Yeah, me too. Almighty, do you? Do you watch SportsCenter?
Quite often.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't.
Not your cup of tea?
It's not my cup of joe. Oh, man, I am laboring. I made the mistake of getting...
Laboring?
Yeah, dude. I
didn't know you were pregnant.
Oh, my word. As for you, Almighty.
Thank you.
All right, Almighty, take over. I'm gonna go from the decaf to a regular cup of coffee right now. Should be about a minute. Oh man.
All right. So, any wrestling news?
Yes, there's a lot of wrestling news, and I'm sure you heard about the whole Cain Velasquez situation.
No.
Yeah, he's here in California, in Santa Clara, California, at the Santa Clara jail, under charges that he shot at a man for possibly molesting his relative that he knows. And they did this little car chase on Sunday into Monday.
Did he just wound him or kill him?
No, he just got grazed by the bullet.
Okay.
But, okay, we've got Scorekeeper back there throwing a baseball, I guess. Whole world saw that, right? Not just me. I can do it again.
Oh, wow. He's entertaining himself. That's incredible. I don't know what.
Well, I think he's trying to just keep himself awake, from falling asleep on the show.
Yeah. So, was an arrest made then?
Yes, an arrest was made, and...
Come on, baby, hurry up.
All right, that was some kind of porn thing going on. So
he also forgot to mute his microphone. So
we can tell that. I mean, we can hear him making joyous sounds.
Yeah.
So did you hear about the Padres getting a brand new development in Tailgate Park?
No, I did not. What's going on with that story?
Well, the city of San Diego and a development team led by the Padres have reached a deal on the sale terms for a 4-block East Village parking lot known as Tailgate Park, where the Padres and their partners now want to build 1,800 apartments. And according to a front page piece on the local paper down there, following 14 months of negotiations, the city and the Padres now are racing against the clock because they only have a certain amount of time to get this done, or it'll be aborted. And the proposed transactions includes $35.1 million purchase price for the land, requires the Padres development team to create a 1.3 acre community park, and mandates that 15% of the planned residential units, or 270 units, are deed restricted for low and middle income families. Although there is no public subsidy, the city's appraisal arrived at a fair market value that includes $42 million worth of credits, because the site building restraints and financial obligations associated with the existing long-term lease. The Padres have the lease runs out in 48, so they want to build this huge thing called Tailgate Park. So that's their deal.
Where at? Where I heard quite a bit of it, but where's the location?
It's right next to this. It's right next to the stadium. As far as I know, I mean, it just says blah 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 blah. Reached a deal on the sale terms for a 4-block East Village parking lot known as Tailgate Park. So it's going to be a parking lot.
Well, I know where they have the Tailgate Park right now.
But it sounds like they're going to make improvements then, right, Roger? I don't know how big that is. I mean, it says a 4-block thing with apartments. I don't know what's,
this is to the east of the stadium right here. This is the Tailgate parking lot. It is pretty big if you look at the block structure here in San Diego. Yeah, 4 blocks. There it is. Oh. Yeah. When we went to the game, if I'm not mistaken, we parked here in this facility because we just walked across. I'm not sure if it was in this building or in this building, but yeah. Oh no, it was MTS Auto Park public parking. We were right here. We actually parked right in this building, and we just walked a little block right into the stadium, which was kind of neat.
But they got to get this thing in place by December 23rd, or it's going to be aborted. So, but it's a lot of money involved. I don't know. Turning a parking lot into apartment buildings is, I don't know. I don't know the parking situation, how much parking they need there in San Diego, but it sounds more like a housing development. I'm sure there's going to be restaurants and cafes and other things there that get people to, I would imagine. I don't know. I just saw for a place called Tailgate Park, I guess you would expect to be partying there. So,
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I just caught that yesterday, and I didn't know they had that much money invested in this.
Well, so, see, I wasn't shaking my head at you guys. I was just shaking my head because they always do this. They always say, "Well, we have to figure out what's the property value here. Does it go to the rich people or does it go to the homeless people?" I mean, there's so many empty not apartment buildings, but they're just random buildings that are empty all along my street here. And I'm sure there's many others even down there where Scorekeeper is in LA, where they're like, well, we're trying to figure this out for the homeless people, but we can't because we need affordable housing and blah, blah, blah. But we don't know what's what, but we don't know what's actual value. We'll figure it out.
But I know that 270 of the apartments have to go to poor and middle class. So I don't know how they're going to divide that up. And gosh,
Well, they're probably going to divide it up because there is an apartment complex that a friend of mine, a mile and a half down the road, she got in there. But what they did with that place was they put Starbucks and all these other things on the bottom, and then they just built the apartments on top of the storefront. You know what I mean? And it just went up and up. So I mean, she's got it good. I mean, she's like every time I talk to her, she's like, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go downstairs and get a donut." I'm like, "Yeah, because you got all those restaurants underneath your apartment. Good for you."
Well, they're going to pay $35 million for the land, but I can't see where there's an actual number, how many acres that is. They just say it's 4 blocks, and they're buying the land, but then they're going to build on it. But I don't see a number saying how much acreage that is. So it's been approved by somebody. So someone got their wheels greased and they passed it.
Yeah.
Well, in baseball terms, they used to mean.
But you're familiar with that, then, Raj? Do you think? I don't know. Do you know where that parking lot is exactly, or do you just?
Yeah.
And so, do you think it will have enough room for what they propose then?
Oh, of course. In this part of San Diego, they're going up. So yeah, but this is where they do their tailgating. I mean, it's announced. It's part of the thing. This is where Padre fans can tailgate. And, they walk over. As I mentioned, or just showing it, this is one of the parking lots. It's actually, it's a lot. You have your metro stop right here.
Well, I can see I can put it into proper perspective because it's right, comparing that with the stadium. I mean, that's two big objects right there. I'm just trying to wonder why they want to put apartments in a parking lot for tailgating.
Well, they're going to get rid of it, I imagine, because San Diego's so laid back.
But they're going to still call it Tailgate Park. But then we're. I mean,
they're going to go. They're going to go.
Can they get rid of that parking lot and still have plenty of parking? Then, Raj.
Well, I don't think so, because that's like the parking lot. As I mentioned, there are structures to the south that are, you got the premier parking lot here, and then you have this office structure, which is
it's only a small thing that I got, so I don't have the full details yet. I just know that this is what development is, and that's where they're going to place it. So that's all I know.
You know what they're probably going to do, and I might be wrong about this, but I said the same thing a few years ago when the Giants were looking to possibly expand, but the city of San Francisco was like, no, we need more restaurants, we need more housing, we need more places like that. And what they did was, well, they didn't provide real information about that either. They made everybody wait 3 years, and then all of a sudden, these really, really tall apartment buildings, really tall business buildings all came up, and they just all got built like the Empire State Building, which led to the problem they had a few years ago where, it's after 1 o'clock in the morning. Why are you guys shooting off fireworks? Come on now, we're trying to sleep.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't provide details about that either, but yeah. But the square footage in baseball terms, that's probably 14 to 17 feet. Like Scorekeeper said, they're probably just going to remove all that other stuff out of the way so that way they can build the apartment buildings.
Well, they could build above it.
That's what I'm saying. They could. Like I said, that's what they did with a friend of mine who lives a mile and a half down the street. They've got Starbucks and all that stuff on the bottom, and then the apartments are on top of her. So, Coffee says he's poor. He needs to move to San Diego so he can be their Scorekeeper.
I didn't want to go to Seattle, but good morning, Carlos. Thank you, Mr. Valen. Appreciate the love. Look, all I know is that right around there, you got a nice metro stop for the trolley. If people use public transportation more, it'd be a little better. But we went to the game. We exited like everyone else did. Actually, it wasn't that difficult getting out of the stadium. It's a smaller. Oh, and there he is. Oh, good morning, Carlos. Thank you for spending some time with us here on Saturday morning. Carlos, if he's not traveling the world, is a former coworker of mine. He's up in Marin. Good for him, Marin County.
Oh,
wait, no wait, is it Marin or
It's
it's actually
it's a 5.25 acre lot.
that's a big lot. Yes,
that's big. Yeah.
I found another article on it, so I guess this will be the second extension. They're supposed to have it done by 31st of last year, but now they've got till December 23rd. So, but I wanted to confirm it because I was bugging me that I didn't have all the information necessary. So I found another source, but that's how big the lot is, and I guess you didn't make a trip, Raj.
Carlson's like an hour and a half away from me, so.
And just say, once they get that park done, you can go back down to San Diego and check it out.
Yeah, I did like San Diego a great deal, as I did like Seattle. My daughter wants to go back up to Seattle this year, so I know we're going to go. Right now, I'm really just starting to get ready for the trip to Alaska. Whoa.
What happened?
I was just reading his comment. I'm sorry, Carlos. I do remember that. I'm not sure if I remember his quote. Oh, wait, Carlos, write it in there again because I was thinking of your other uncle who ran this big or was in charge of the area operations I'm not going to get him in trouble, but I remember I called the agent racist because they weren't providing a product in our area. And his uncle said pretty much, yeah, it's your, not that they were racist, but that they were not going to do the work that I was implying that they weren't going to do, which was really funny. But no, this is your other. He used to listen to us. Yes. That's right. Yes. They sure don't know what they're talking about, but they sure are funny. His uncle would listen to us when we were doing the radio on Saturday mornings. That's right. I miss him, man. Carlos would tell me all the stuff that he would say about us. And he would listen to us. And we were actually, when we were doing Blog Talk Radio, yeah, Don. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I do miss all the stuff that Carlos would tell me. And we were actually played live, or not maybe live, but we were recorded somewhere in Michigan, too. Someone would download our programs and play it in their hardware store. That was funny, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Carlos would tell me that someone in his family would download our episodes and upload them on the PA. So when people were shopping in the store, yeah, and your show. And thanks for keeping it alive. Yeah. It was funny. Where was it, Carlos? I don't want to get the store in trouble or anything, but they were in Michigan. And it was funny. Oh, there it is. There it is. Sparty Marty at Cougar Sales and Rental. Oh my God! It was in Novi, Michigan. That's so funny. They had us on Novi, sure.
No, it's Novi. I mean, that's where the comic book convention is.
There you go.
In May.
And by the way, look, Carlos, look at who it is. It's Gridiron Girl.
Gridiron Girl said she went back to being a listener.
Oh, right, because she was here for like 2 weeks straight.
Yep.
Yeah, Carlos, you missed Gridiron Girl, buddy. She was check out last week. Oh, we got another like. Who was it from? And it's from Gridiron Girl. Oh, man. I'm sorry, folks. I'm enjoying being on with everyone right now, but man, I am still tired. And my first appointment is at 12 today. Oh, no, actually, it's going to be at 10:30 or 11. I snuck one in. I don't know why I did that. Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I mean.
Oh, I know why, because I'm stupid.
But I like what you and Carlos are talking about here, which brings up a question for me, which is, would you rather listen to regular random music while shopping, or would you listen to Sports Talk with the Guys while you're shopping?
Sports Talk with the Guys, baby.
Yep.
So when they told us that they were listening to us, we would then mention their program while we were live, knowing that we were going to be heard, which was really kind of neat. That was a lot of fun. Let me see. I'm checking. Yeah, my first appointment's at 11, then 12, then 1, then 2, then 3. And then 6, 7, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. Oh my God.
It's going to be a long day for you.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, very much. Well, what's up?
I was going over the more of the Joe Buck thing, and Fox might want some of the Big Ten games in exchange for Joe Buck.
Oh, really?
Well, they're thinking outside the box. They don't want to keep him if he's not happy, but they're thinking of different ways than just money. I mean, and I guess because ESPN has those big college packages. So I mean, geez. So I mean, it just caught my eye real quick.
Scorekeeper, I keep meaning to ask you this, but is that an Eagles Cup you've been blasting through on the camera this morning, or it looks like an Eagles Cup?
No, it's the seal of the United Federation of Planets. Come on, you should know this. Why would I have an Eagles Cup? That's Tony's domain.
Yeah, I know. Just had to throw some interaction in there.
Oh, I went with French roast. It's actually kind of strong when you've been doing decaf for a little while. And this is very strong. Damn. I now have the caffeine coursing through my veins. I'm so tired.
Everybody else in the chat room can help you with that. I can't help you with that. I don't drink coffee, remember? So
actually, remember, because of coffee in the chat room, we don't like to say coffee. We like to say a cup of Joe. Because I don't like saying I'm having me some coffee right now. It just doesn't seem right.
Great, our girl says now you get regular.
Okay, when she was here, I only had decaf, and I'm so sorry. And honest, and Gridiron Girl, the truth is, I still only have decaf. I had one left that I found of the French roast. Otherwise, I don't have it. Let me see. Hey, Archlord, when you get a chance, check out your Facebook Messenger. You have a blast from the past, an annoying guy with some messages. All right, I will have to check it out. Yes, Kahin! Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I am having a hard time this morning. I am sorry. I am just... Good God, I'm just tired. I'm sorry.
Well, we know you're tired, and I know you didn't appreciate the Eagles thing, but I know that wasn't an Eagles Cup. I just had to mess with you there.
I'm okay. The Eagles, Tony, I respect Tony. He's an Eagles fan. Don't know why, but it's okay. I respect him. But why would I cheer for the Eagles, man?
Well, not for any particular reason. It's just something funny happened at the NFL Combine on Wednesday where a 14-year-old kid, he just, was lucky enough to be put in the booth at the NFL Combine.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened? How'd it go?
Well, the NFL Combine had, everybody there. The real action kicked off officially on Thursday. But, the NFL Network, they set up a shop in Lucas Oil Stadium to broadcast the action to the masses. Daniel Jeremiah and Rick Ellison were joined by 14-year-old Giovanni Hamilton, who was an Eagles superfan, wasn't let his rare genetic disease that he's had in life preventing him from becoming an online sensation with a long-running podcast. During the segment with them, Gio was encouraged to deliver a message to the Eagles GM, to Howie Rosen, and how to approach the upcoming draft. and he took full advantage. After his middle encounter with the guy, Jalen Hurts had some help by snagging wide receivers. Hamilton turned his attention to the linebackers that he lobbied for with a hilariously passionate plea saying, this 14-year-old kid said, please, Howie, for the love of God, get us some linebackers. It's true, they do need linebackers on that Eagles team.
That's funny. Yeah, well, look, the Eagles need help in a lot of other things, too.
Yeah.
Well, lucky kid, 14 years old. Good for him. He had his day in the sun. Not bad. So, all right. Almighty,
Yes.
what would you like to get to? I need help,
Oh,
man.
alrighty. Let's see what I got here. All right, let's go with Iowa is the 22nd state to ban transgender males or females from competing in female sports.
Yeah.
So that's seems to be spreading. I mean, getting bigger and bigger. I think the last state. So I know at least I have been on a show where we discussed it, but that seems to keep growing. But I mean, they can only do the public schools. They can't do college because that's Title IX won't let them do it. So they have to that only applies to their public school system. Because
Really?
of that. Yeah, because
Title IX is only college, huh?
Yes, so they can't. From what I understand, because Title IX is only colleges because that's why they can't. I mean, like I said, so.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I thought Title IX went all the way through the schools, but only college. So
I thought so too, but wow.
But I guess that maybe that's just an NCAA thing too, Title IX. But anyway, they passed it, so I don't know. But they've been having I don't know if any of you believe that if they keep letting transgender males do this, that it will, usurp actual females in the competition. That's what they're afraid of, is that they will just be that the females won't have any fun. They couldn't compete. They can't compete against them. So, which I do agree with, because that's especially when they're just blowing them away. So I know it's controversial, but you have to draw a line somewhere.
I do know that as an older dinosaur, which I might be stuttering when I say that, I am not smart enough to be involved in these conversations. My ex-coworker, Carlos, one time, I got him mad often. And I do remember one vivid conversation that we had with the third coworker, who was female. And the young lady was trying to get her point across. I'm not going to go into full details on it, but there was a moment that even Carlos just turned to her and said, you aren't going to make any headway with this Cro-Magnon. You realize this, right? He didn't say Cro-Magnon, to his credit, but he was basically telling her, and the young lady's name was Melissa, and we'll leave it at that, where Carlos just said, stop it. You ain't making any headway with this guy. It doesn't matter. Your logic, your understanding is just not going to penetrate this guy. And when Carlos did that, I was like, oh shit, I don't have to say another word. I can hold on to this roller coaster. But even myself know that my views have evolved. I don't believe they've changed, but I guess if they evolved, they have changed, right? Well, anyway,
But I can see the female athlete's point of view.
Okay, well, here's an interesting comment. Aisha says, I've always said that trans people should have their own sports. Not all trans follow the line that once you've had treatment, you're the same as a natural woman. And I think that might have been the word that I was looking for, natural. there's an argument there that it's going to infuriate people that listen to us. And I get that. We are no bastion of conservatism, and nor are we a left-wing progressive organization here. We share our opinions as best we know, and we try to understand. I think Big Dog is much more open than I am. I can say that without it being a secret. I am a citizen of this great country, and I do know that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I get that.
I don't have any problem. I mean, with transgender, I'm just saying, we still need a fair playing field. I mean, we just can't. That's what I guess that's what I'm getting at. If they are really
Yes.
that far, they still have the male hormones no matter what you do to them. So, I mean, they're still going to have that strength. And I know that sounds sexist, but even females that do these sports complain about that. So I don't know what the answer is. I mean, the NCAA, they chickened out and passed the buck back down to the colleges. So it's still confusing. So I don't know. But I guess I guess the states are then taking, they can't do the college thing, but at least this looks like more and more every few months you hear another state, vote that way where they can't, whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I kind of agree with transgender against transgender, but I don't know if that's segregation. So I don't know how, but I don't know. I mean, I guess if they tried it, we'll see if anybody files a lawsuit to try and say that they're being discriminating against them. But then again, we have males against females, so that would be the case for the college. That look, we already have this divided, so it's not really segregation. It's just that we're trying to make a fair playing field for the players. Anyway, that's for me. I don't know, but I really.
Almighty, I appreciate that comment. It's real and genuine. I don't know how Speedy feels, and I'll get to him in just a moment. But for me, like I say, and I touched on it earlier, I agree with Almighty. I am not smart enough to know, but I think that since we're having this conversation, we're talking it through, which is a good thing. Now, Almighty hinted that someone will probably file a legal action, and you're going to have to. It's going to have to be done. And the way it works in the United States, for it to get to the Supreme Court quicker, you have to have two different district courts file. In other words, like one is yes and the other one is no. And once the district courts are that way, then it will advance to the Supreme Court. That takes time. And I don't know how long it's going to take. And folks, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was the governor of California, wimped out on the issue as well. I believe it was of gay marriage at the time. And he said, well, they didn't vote for it, so I'm going to go along with it. He wimped out. He just did. It was no doubt. And he said, well, it's up for the people to decide. Well, they decided shortly thereafter. But in the manner that he did, he was an activist for the LGBT community, allegedly. But when it passed California, he didn't sign it into law because he said the people had not voted. Shortly thereafter, California was one of the first. I don't think they were the first, but
you sure about that?
About which part?
About gay marriage. We have California being the first.
No, that's what I said. They were one of the first. They were not.
I'm just saying.
I don't think they were the first.
I'm just trying to figure out who would have went before California, because that seems, unless it was Washington or Oregon. I'm just thinking of liberal states on the West Coast that would pass that more than a conservative Midwest state that would go along with them with that. I mean, I don't care who the first one was. I'm just trying to, if you like red and blue states, then anyway. it did pass, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Right now, and I suppose the reason why I mentioned the whole thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that people had not voted on it, I don't know if there is a positive view in America for that right now, for the trans world. Um, there's such a hostility towards it, at least in the media realm. But you were going to say, Almighty?
I was going to say it's just too. It's still kind of fresh with people competing like this, and I don't know. I mean, seems like a lot of conservative. I don't know. I don't know who the 22 are, but the last two states that had female governors, if that makes a difference. It's not like a male, not like male governors. So
yeah, but Scorekeeper mentioned earlier that there has to come a line in the sand to be drawn, because I mean it started out okay, but then over the years things have gotten crazy, and I was looking. It's funny because I was looking through my Facebook memories this week, and the one on Tuesday was the one that I posted from like 2008, 2009, somewhere in there, about the fact that a guy in a high school who was pretending to be a girl was in the girls' restroom, and it's like, what are you doing in the girls' restroom when you know full well that you're a guy, even though you claim to be a woman? And he got in trouble and all that, and suspended or whatever from the school, and the parents got involved and everything. And then a few years later, in 2012, something similar happened at a major sporting event where a woman who said she was a guy went into the men's restroom, and they're like, hey, you can't be in here, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, I'm a transgender. I have a right to go into both bathrooms, anyone I want. And then we all remember the whole Target deal, and they're like, here, we have a unisex bathroom for both people. Doesn't matter what you are. And we got an uproar there. So, and then people are like, hey, stay away from my kid. I don't know what you are.
Well, see, that was my concern too, that any guy, whether they're transgender or not, could walk into the female restroom and just say that. I mean, just saying you're transgender isn't enough. I mean, that's And I see, because I mean, he's in there's going to be in there with little girls. I mean, that's so if he's, you know what I mean. It's a slippery slope, is what it is. But unless I make a third restroom that says transgender.
Well, those are the unisex ones, I believe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're right.
We've had some comments about the theme for California. I didn't think we were the first, but Coffee and Carlos at the same time, or Orange Chicken as he was known previously.
Orange Chicken.
That was on the Daily 15. I wish you would have been there, Almighty. I mean, you would have fit in with that crazy cast of characters. Oh my God. Yeah, it was Massachusetts. They were the first ones to legalize.
I think California was. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot that. Now that he says he's right, I dropped the ball, but I remember when that happened too. But
folks, it is. Yeah, it is something that's way above me. It's something that's way above most of us. But I believe that by talking about it, as opposed to yelling at each other and attacking each other, we're doing a better thing. Sometimes things take time, and I know I'm going to hear it. Oh, good God. I'm going to hear it because they say, but the time that is lost in waiting, people are being beaten, they're losing their lives, they're taking their lives. It's my line is not meant for cover. It's look at the way things happen. It is amazing from the 80s to the 1990s, the radical shift that America endured, that went from a genuine homophobic nation. Hey, look at the way things were. A genuine homophobic nation to a nation that acknowledges, and it's not everywhere, but you 10 years earlier you would not have said that. And maybe I'm wrong in the 80s. I would say from the 90s into the 2000s. I
Well,
think that would
it
be more.
depends because like there were really the 80s were still homophobic because
Yeah.
I remember, especially in the comic book industry, every time a writer or an artist would introduce a gay character, it'd have to go away somehow. It couldn't stay around. You know what I mean? They'll introduce one, and then somehow the character would fall off the face of the earth because at that time nobody wanted to read or even have TV shows with gay characters in the 80s. I mean, there was still a homophobic time. So
Yeah.
I think the 90s is when things started to turn around. And they kept trying to push it. And then the aughts, they were really going at it. And now that we've got to the teens, it's really turned around a lot because now every show has a formula where they have diversity. There's one mixed couple, a gay guy or a woman, and whatever. I mean, it seems like to be the formula in some of these shows where they make sure they have diversity, whether it's, but anyway. And plus, now they're giving male characters to females, so you know it's working. But I mean, it's not like I'm thinking it all straightened out. Where if you say something, you get attacked for it, no matter because right now free speech is under attack, so got to be careful.
As a matter of fact, Carlos mentioned, and I hope I'm not taking away from what you just said, Almighty, but I did tune in to watch. I had never seen the Ellen show. And I did watch, and I did see where she revealed, and I gotta admit, damn, it was funny. Look, it was real when the character of Ellen expressed herself. Said when she revealed who she was, she accidentally hit the PA system in the airport, and everyone heard, and the look of mortification on her face. It was done well. It was done tastefully. How many times have we screwed up? I don't want to. I'm not trying to minimize. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. It's just it was a cool moment, and I knew it was going to happen, and I had to tune in to watch, and it was very well done. I'm sorry. I still remember it, and I remember smiling. I remember her mortification because she was not only doing it on the program as a character, she was doing it as a person, and she was doing it publicly to the world. Folks, what Ellen had to deal with, and with many others, most of us will never, ever know. And whether you believe it's a choice or whether you believe it's natural, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. And that has taken time. And I appreciate Carlos's line when I said, to an open society. He said, no, to a slightly less homophobic country. that might have been more apropos.
Yeah, but
I like what Aisha said earlier when she said, so what would you do if you actually knew a transgender person? Well, Aisha, great you say that because I do. Many of the wrestlers here in California, some of them, it's like I'd get on Facebook one day and they're like, I cut my hair, I did this to my body, and I'm this now, I'm that now. And I'm like, okay, well, good for you. No animosity. It's just, that's what they choose to be. Then, some of us have tried to tell them to stay true to who they are. But like I said, I get up one day and they have these new facial features on Facebook. And I'm like, well, good for you.
I grew up in a sheltered, conservative, but in some ways progressive family. We were by nature spiritually, religiously, orthodoxy. We were conservative, but we were minorities, and we tended to lean left when it came to acceptance and stuff like that. I'm not saying we were ahead of the curve. We were not. It's just that's the way I grew up. I consider myself a moderate, but because I speak up, I have been labeled everything: a libtard, a progressive, an idiot, a radical left wing, whatever. And I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know how I really am. So I've just ignored. I've told people I am not liberal. I am a moderate. As a matter of fact, one of the last presidents that I really did understand was George Herbert Walker Bush. That guy was a moderate. He was probably the last genuine moderate in the world. Look at his record. How many people, almighty, did that man piss off? Remember?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
He pissed off the left, he pissed off the right, and God bless him, he pissed off the middle. Yep. Because he actually tried, and not only did he try, he made deals. And that's, this is going to become a lecture now, and I don't mean for it to be. But that's what America is, folks. It is us moving forward together. And he did that. Oh my God, hold on. I haven't seen this one. Oh, wait. Coffee says, I consider myself to be a Scandinavian socialist. Okay, fair enough. Carlos is laughing his ass off. I remember when people called you a liberal in the office and you gave them the stare of death. Poor engineers. See, I'm not lying. I mean, these people would call me that. I'm like, hey, Carlos, remember my most favorite one when you worked in the office? When I'm at my desk and the engineers would come over and I'd look up and they say, Did you get my email? And I would look at my computer and say, yeah, you just sent it 20 seconds ago. What? And it's, well, did you get my email? Well, it's on my screen. They would do that regularly. Now, I'm not going to tell you the rest of it right now because Carlos remembers because he saw that. They would run over. Did you get my email? You realize that under administrative directives, I have 24 hours to respond to you. And I was deliberately an a-hole when it came to that. Look, I respond as quickly as I can. But you say, oh, hold on. What do you say? Sometimes you do a stare and say yes. Oh, God, yes. Carlos did work with me for a while, but then Carlos was smart. He got promoted, finished his education, and now he's got his dream job. I miss you, Carlos. But let's see. Do you even play video games, Roger? I think you should send me that hat. Oh, my daughter purchased that one. Very good. It's from a PS5 game. Major League Baseball, the show. I have the game in my room. It came with the hat. So very good. Very good. My daughter is a gamer. But, yeah, let's see. Even Carlos Vela, yeah, that stare of death still happening. Guys, I love my job. Don't get me wrong. But there were times like, dude, chill the F out. Calm down. The world does not revolve around you. It revolves around me. And once you realize that, hey, look, everyone in OSD, traffic paint and signposting, and in the periphery, they knew the world revolved around me. And it's just the way it is. And once you acknowledge that, life's easy. Oh. And great. One of my agents is calling me from Dallas, Fort Worth. So this is probably a business one. For you guys, forgive me. Almighty, Speedy, take over, please.
All right. Well, this time he mused himself because we heard his whole conversation last time. But I just want to say, Carlos, you're right. Scorekeeper is absolutely right. Because there's been plenty of times, Carlos, where here on the show on Saturday morning, where Big Dog gets that death stare from Scorekeeper almost every episode that we do. And they, Big Dog is Big Dog and Scorekeeper is Scorekeeper. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just calm down, okay? We'll just be normal human beings. Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
We'll see you later, Alicia. Have a good one.
Yeah, Carlos, I think there's some truth to that. There's actually a lot of truth to that. Good morning, Rod. Rod is here too. Good to see everybody here.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you for that coffee. I appreciate you mentioning that. Well, the show has been going on for the last 2.5 hours. Tomorrow is Revolution pay-per-view, AEW. But, there's a lot that's actually going on, too. And, okay, I wish he would have turned his camera off. Because it looks like he's arguing with himself on camera. But,
yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Roz. I agree. But
yes, they are. That is true, Roz. That is true.
Can't argue with that. That's fact.
Yeah, I don't know what TV show they will remind me of for their rare coupleness, but
Grumpy old man.
probably.
I don't know, but let's see. I was hoping. Well, where were you? You were on your. But do you have any news?
Yes, I do, and that is, like I said, I'll be enjoying AEW's Revolution pay-per-view tomorrow. As you mentioned, Coffee in the chat room an hour and a half ago, yes, Thunder Rosa is injured, but she will still be competing. I know her personally. I've known her when she debuted here in Newark, California. Well, I'm in St. Angel, California, but, but I've known them for years and years.
No, Roz, we are not a reincarnated old married couple.
Oh man.
What were you saying, Speedy? Come on, spill it.
I was talking about the wrestling stuff, and so.
Oh, yeah. Well, good morning, Gridiron Girl. Good morning, Roz. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate the likes. We are well into our third hour here on Sports Talk with the Guys, home of the Monday Morning Quarterbacks on Saturday. Today is the big show, the extravaganza, and he's almighty right over there. That's Speedy right there. And, oh, now that's interesting that we are the male Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, they were talking about TV shows in the chat room that you and Big Dog are related to. That's what they were comparing in the chat room.
Laverne and Shirley. I wonder who's Laverne and who's Shirley.
Hard to say on that one.
Big Dog and I have known each other since May of 1988. We have been through a great deal together, and I'm such a dick to the Big Dog every time he says, "Rod, you're my best friend." I never answer him back because I'm a stupid, dumb bastard. I'm like, ooh, I've got the power in this relationship. I'm such a jerk to the Big Dog, and he tells me often, "Rod, you're my best friend." I just stay silent. I know I'm supposed to say you're the same team, but I'm like, I've gotten away with it for so long now. I'm going to keep playing that part. But yes, Big Dog and I have been through a lot. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Almighty.
No, I was going to say before long, you two would be picking out engagement rings. But so.
Yeah. No, it's not going to happen. I keep getting text messages this morning because apparently there was a major. Aw, thank you, Coffee. I kind of figured. So he's Laverne. He does have odd tastes. So I guess he's the one that drinks the Pepsi and milk, right? Yeah. Big Dog's probably listening right now, but
yeah, he probably will.
Yeah, whatever. But it's all good. Jeez. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do want to thank everyone who is spending their Saturday morning with us, folks. It is why we get up in the morning to be here, and it's very thrilling to be able to spend time with you and to have these conversations. The conversation did get a bit heavier over the last hour, and folks, it is, I was worried. I was worried because of the backlash that I would hear, because I do read the comments. Sometimes I stopped reading the letters live because I was chastised in that I let a name slip, and it was the person's real name. And they said, dude, if you're going to do that, you shouldn't do that. So, okay, that's fair, because I didn't state that I would read the letters on air. So I was like, okay, fine, fair enough. That's why I really don't read the letters, because I don't put that I don't put that statement. If you send us material, we will read it on air. I kind of still do it, but I don't mention names. But it's true. We don't warn anyone, so that's why I really don't do it all that often. But Almighty, if this is a tangent, did say, so how many letters do I get?
Oh, God.
And it was funny. I actually did get one for Speedy. And
I asked you how many letters I got that complained about the things I said.
Well,
because
the letter said, we need more Speedy, less you, less Big Dog, less Almighty. Like, oh,
what?
Oh shit!
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was trying to tell
Thank you for whoever put that letter.
And this was within the last probably, I don't know, maybe in the last 3 weeks. So I that's why I had to tell you, Almighty, because Almighty says, how many people have commented? I said, no one. Well, I have to amend that. Almighty finally got mentioned tangentially in one of them by saying, Roger has to shut up, Almighty has to shut up, Big Dog has to shut up, and let Speedy go some more. So,
thank you, people. Thank you to the great people of the internet, because it does feel like that. I'll admit that here on the air. I feel like we're on WWE, where all they do is talk over each other, and it's like, can you shut up and let me finish my sentence when I'm talking? And especially last night, too. Now that we know that Pat McAfee will be in a match at WrestleMania. And he blamed Michael Cole for it. That was good, yes. I should start hashtag blame Michael Cole. Get that trending on all over the world. But, going back to it, Coffee, like I said earlier, whether Thunder Rosa, a.k.a. Melissa, is injured or not, I've known her before she became a wrestler. I know her real personality. Whether she's injured or not, she says she will be at Revolution for the pay-per-view tomorrow night for AEW. Also, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but a few weeks ago, with that wrestling show she was at, where some fans were making hate and racist and sexual comments to the women, she was wrestling the former Ember Moon, who's under her real name again. And some of these fans were like, yeah, women are this, women are that, and that's like, you can't say that. And she went off on a tangent. There's a video about it. You can certainly look that up on YouTube and check it out, where she basically said women have been having these rights for years, and if you don't like it, then you have no business being here. We do just as much as the guys do, if not more, in this ring where we bleed and we sweat and we give our lives here, risking them. I was like, yeah, there's some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that, actually. I mean, it kind of goes in line with what we've been talking about already here on the program, about the whole transgender thing. I mean, because growing up, I was like those guys at the show, where I'm like, I went to a concert years ago when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I only went because three of my favorite bands were going to be there. I'm like, yes, they're going to be here. We're going to have a great rock show. But one of the bands was an all-girl band. And at the time, I was like, my little 11-year-old head was like, nothing but a bunch of stupid women that were trying to play music. Trying, being the key word within my vocabulary a lot then. And all the girls in our young adult group, our teenage group, were like, you need to shut up because you might get shocked tonight. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. And because I'm a drummer too by trade, the girl band gets up there and I'm like, I'm only here for the main event, whatever. But she did this crazy roll off the drums and she made it back in time to get back in line with the song. And I was like, oh my God. She just did that. And all the girls in our group were like, uh-huh. Didn't we tell you a few hours ago? Something would slap you in the face? And after that, that's when I started saying, girls can do whatever they want. I need to shut up.
Okay, do you know what slapped me across the face right now? I had no idea that Speedy was a drummer by trade. You play the drums?
Yes, I've mentioned that many times here on the show. This is what people are talking about.
Yeah. I really did not know that, Speedy, and I'm so sorry that I missed that. Because, it always revolves around me, so I wasn't paying attention. Really? So, are you going to play the drums for us one of these days? No?
Maybe, possibly, if we,
That'll be so cool if you perform. Now, check this out. Coffee says a few years ago, a local morning radio show had a Facebook page. I would comment all the time. I got busy and quit posting for about 2 weeks. And when I started posting again, one of the DJs said sponsorships were asking where I was. I then told them they should pay me and I will show up to the studio every Friday. They wouldn't do it, so I quit posting altogether. That is funny. I mean, Coffee has left such a lasting impression on us that we've joked about it. You read Coffee's comments, folks, and Coffee rips everything every day of the week. And yet, when Big Dog and I are fishing for information or Speedy, Coffee's right there with the statistic. He's right there with the answer. For someone who doesn't like that shit, he knows a lot about it, which is something that I've always pointed out. And there are times when we're talking, it's like, where the hell's Coffee? Where is Coffee? So,
yeah, because he always has the numbers. He always brings the averages with him.
Oh, my God. Not only does he have that, Speedy, but he has the attitude that comes with it. All I can say is that Coffee has a great way of expressing an opinion. He's irritated each and every one of the hosts, all of them at one time or another, Sports Talk with the Guys. But I kind of joke about the fact that Coffee and I hit some sort of neutral zone on understanding, because I talked about that I was AB positive, and then Coffee said, hey, I'm AB positive too. You've got the blood-sucking blood, or, the vampire blood. So what do you mean? Our blood is the only one that is good for us. AB positive works for no one else. But we can take everyone else's blood. So we're the vampire blood. I was like, well, shit. I wonder why Coffee and I get along. And ever since then, there's been a talk, and I know that Coffee knows that, and it's pretty good. He says, "Tell me when you're going to a Seattle game if baseball happens. I will fly out there and join you." That is the plan, Coffee. I'm not kidding. I am flying to Minnesota in July, if I'm not mistaken, if they play baseball, and. If the schedule, folks, this is my itinerary. If they play baseball this year, because remember, all they're going to do is not play the canceled games. So this year, I am going to Florida, May 13th through the 15th. I'm going to Arizona, June 17th through the 19th. I'm going to Minnesota, July 15th through July 17th. Colorado, August 18th through the 21st, and Oakland, September 23rd to the 25th. So there it is, Coffee. Yes, I'm going to Seattle. I'm going to visit a classmate in October, which would be after the season, unless some Seattle team is able to make the playoffs. But I'm looking forward to that, guys. That's why I talk about my schedule, because I'm saying if anyone wants to meet me, hey, I would really look forward to it. So those are my tentative trips. Actually, I'm going to Seattle in October. I don't have the dates there. And, the Seattle Sounders. Oh, okay. All right. I might do that. I'll have my daughter with me, and going to go see a soccer game is on my bucket list. And in November, I'm going to New Orleans, going to go meet up with Dreem. He's actually invited me over for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh, jeez. Oh, it sounds incredibly tempting, but I know how, not him, but I know how families can be during the holidays. So I'm like, ooh,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to intrude on something like that. But anyway, and in the December, Michael Day and I were talking about it last night. We don't know where we're going to meet. I just want him to make pho. Or pho. Oh, God.
Yeah, he wants you to make him that.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Dreem and I are making plans sometime this year. We're also gonna go to New Jersey because we're gonna meet up with someone else. But I want to go visit Dreem in New Orleans before he moves back. As you know, he's coming back to Arizona, and they're gonna move their business from New Orleans to Arizona. So it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. That's why I'm in a hurry to get out to New Orleans before he does move. Spending time with somewhat of a local. I think he's been out there like 10 years, man. And this is how close I am with Dreem. I said, dude, when you need a day off, remember, I worked at Carl's Jr. I was a shift supervisor. Whenever you need a day to go off and go and be with the wife, whatever, when you need a real day off, don't worry. I'll fuck things up for you while you're gone. Professionally. And, Dreem wasn't expecting that when I said it, which was really kind of funny. He said, hey, don't worry, dude. I got you. I got you for this. I will screw things up when you're gone. Aisha did say that she was going to be leaving us. She did send me a text message. So if she's still with us, Aisha, thank you. Hope your mama is doing well. And hope everything is okay with you. And I'm glad you spent some time with us. Coffee says, couldn't pay me to live in that hot climate. Arizona? Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony, for that comment, Tony. I appreciate that comment. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't see that one. My cousin Dora, a.k.a. Roxy, is a drummer from Vixen. She's badass. Yeah, sorry, Tony. I did miss that one. Almighty, what is the coldest and the hottest weather you've been in?
20 below.
Oh,
and probably 100 and something.
wow. Okay. Speedy, how about you? What's the coldest and hottest?
Well, the hottest was in 1992 when we were in Madera, California. Somebody's at the door. And then
Someone knocked.
Yeah, I heard that. Gotta love when you hear knocking on the live show. And it's only 8:29 a.m. That equates to the same time for you, Almighty, right? Or is that different time?
What'd you say?
I said, is your time the same as ours? Probably not. It's 8:30 in the morning here.
Well, no, it's 11:30 here.
Yeah, you're 2 hours ahead of us.
I mean, this is Eastern. This is the Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
So yeah. So while I used to have to show at 6, it's 9 here. So it's not that bad for me.
Yeah, you get more sleep.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you guys are getting up at 6, but anyway.
Yeah, well, we're actually getting up at Roger, he gets up at 5:10. Me, I get up about 5:30, 5:45, somewhere in there. Big dog is like, I'll just show up whenever.
Yeah.
Which is why sometimes you'll see him show up behind Scorekeeper at his place. I'm here now. We can start the show. No, you're late. But yeah, I mean, Coffee says he thinks he saw Vixen 5 years ago. Oh, well, there you go. Maybe Tony can communicate that with you. If she probably, her man probably did go to Minnesota. Who knows?
Oh man, I feel bad. A client just showed up right now, and well, here's the thing: his appointment was for 8:30 p.m. That's what his son set up, but the son told him it's for 8:30 a.m. and it's right here at 8:30. Like, oh. So I told him, I said, "Look, I'm doing a program. I'm live around the world," and he was just like, "Yeah, okay." So he's actually going to go get coffee and I have a cup of Joe, and he's going to be back at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to have to end the program early because the guy is driving 150 miles away. I felt bad even sending him away right now. Guys and girls, I have clients that drive up to. Okay, I had a client that would come down for the weekend to come do his taxes from San Jose. Go figure. So he's driving from just north of the Grapevine, so like somewhere in Bakersfield, something like that. So
wow.
You guys are more than welcome to continue the program after I'm done, but I am gonna have to leave at 9 o'clock. So I do apologize. So you guys heard the door knock, huh?
Yes, I heard it. That's why I was like, oh, someone's at the door.
I was like, is Gridiron Girl here to mess with me again?
That would have been funny if you would open the door and she showed up. That would have been great.
You missed her, Almighty. She was here with us the last 2 weeks. It was really funny.
I made one of them.
That's cool. She was here last week as well. But anyway, I do apologize. Going with the thing, I didn't get the answer from you, Speedy, because I had to walk away. But the coldest I've been in was 12 degrees in Denver in 2007. And the hottest I'd been in was 118 when we had that heat wave several years ago in Southern California. Remember that? It was pretty hot where you were too. Remember, Speedy?
Well, it was the hottest I've ever been was in 1992 when we were living in Madera, California. As I said many times before on the show, my biological mother, she never learned to drive, so we did what all Mexicans do, right, Scorekeeper? We walked everywhere. And this one particular time, my brothers were like, we need ice cream, please. My sister was like, yeah, please hurry. And my brothers were like, insistent on going by themselves. And my mom was like, no. You're going with them. I was like, all right, I'll go with them. And so we walked like 3.5 miles to the nearest liquor store because Madera is kind of like Bakersfield. You're in the middle of nowhere.
It's a ways away, dude.
Yeah. And so on the way back from the liquor store, my brothers, they found a little spot on the side of the road, and they're like, I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, it's too hot. It was 140 degrees that day. It was super hot. I'm like, no, we got to keep moving. Keep walking. We're almost home. Like, it's hot. I'm like, yeah, but if you stop now, the ice cream's going to melt. Then there won't be no ice cream later on. So we get back to the house, and they're like, we made it. They're like, now what? I'm like, what do you mean now what? That's why I call my brothers Beavis and Butthead, because that's what they are to me. Like,
Beavis and Butthead. I'm sorry.
I'm like, Butthead, put that in the freezer and just let it get cold. That way, later tonight at like 10 or 10:30, 11 o'clock, we can pull the ice cream out. It will be frozen solid by then. To give you a little lesson there too, Scorekeeper, I got that idea from an episode because we were at my grandma's house in Oakland a few years ago. And all of us were just sitting there, a bunch of kids, and we're watching an episode because my grandma's like, here's a remote, watch whatever you want. My grandma's words, and we were just watching it. We didn't know what we were watching, but there's an episode of Beavis and Butthead where Butthead goes, why are we here? He goes, well, this is where the party's at. And kind of like what just happened to you, Scorekeeper. Oh, gotta get the door. And then people open the door in the show and they're like, yeah, we're here for the party. And the people are like, no, there's no party here. You're at the wrong house. And Butthead goes, you stupid son of a bitch, Beavis. Why would you take us to the wrong house? Do you even know what your brain is thinking when you read these addresses? He goes, no. You're the one that's a fucking idiot. And all of a sudden, all you see is all these adults running to the living room at my grandma's house, and they're like, hey! My grandpa goes, who's cussing in here? What are you guys doing? And we were all like, that's not any of us. My cousins were adamant too about it. We didn't say it. Yeah, sure. My mom's like there with the belt. She's ready. She's like doing the whole belt thing. You remember those, right, guys? I'm sure you can't remember that.
Yes.
My grandma, she had her chocolate ready. She said, I'm gonna spank someone's butt right now. And because my cousins and my brothers, nobody said anything, I stood up and I was like, relax, that wasn't us. Look what's on TV. Yep, Scorekeeper.
You are Latin if you can do that.
Yeah.
Remember? Oh my god. I got threatened with that a few times. Oh, when you said remember the belt, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very Latin move. I'm so sorry, Speedy. Continue, man. This is damn funny.
So because my cousins and my brothers, nobody said anything, I stood up and I said, look what's on TV. That wasn't us. And all the adults turned and they looked at the TV, and you just hear all this mouthing, cussing, profanity language for all these, like, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. And one of my mom's oldest brother, my uncle, he starts flipping through the channels, and he ends up stopping on ABC because they had all the wholesome Saturday morning stuff, schoolhouse and all that. He's like, there, that's better. He's like, look, Looney Tunes. He's like, that's a better channel for you guys to be watching anyways.
You mean no Schoolhouse Rock?
Yeah, they were on there too. They were just starting because Looney Tunes was just ending. So, yeah. And the coldest I've ever been there, I'm not sure how cold it was, because my mom couldn't afford rent at one place, so we ended up spending like 4 days in her friend's van. That was terrible.
No,
I hope to never sleep in a vehicle again, because that was terrible.
It is. It is absolutely. I hear you on that, Speedy. Wow. I'm sorry that was the case, but yeah, it can get pretty cold at night when you're outside in a vehicle. Several times I did it by choice. When I had my Ford Probe, man, I loved that car. It was a 4-seater, but the back seats would fold forward, and since it was a hatchback, the Ford Probe, it was a first year model, beautiful car. I loved it with the digital instrumentation and everything. Man, it was the bridge of the Enterprise, baby. But if I folded the seats forward in the back, I could rest at an angle in the back of the car. I could sleep in the back of my car, which was really cool. And I did a few times when I'd go to Vegas because the Ford Probe, as you know, it had the angled back. So there was a cover. There was a false cover. So you could just, you cover yourself, man. It was all right, but it would still get cold. It was a car. It was a Ford. Come on.
Yeah, what do you expect?
He says Ford Pros were too expensive to fix, so I never got one. My mechanic told me to stay away. Yeah. I sold it with 137,000 miles on it because I was done with it. I rode that mother into the ground. That car only had 137 miles, but I rode that car into the ground. It was a bitchin' car, though. But it had a firm steering wheel. It was a little sports car, man. And it was really neat. It was automatic, but it had the turbo button where I could accelerate. And it was like a 2.4 liter engine. And, oh, man, it was enough to give other cars pause. That's about it. But it was I just loved the car the way it looked. And my mother said, that's a sports car. Really? Wow. So yeah, but like I said, I was cold up in Colorado, and the hottest I was 118. That's the hottest I've ever been in. And I remembered around 1:00 in the afternoon, I opened the door, stuck my head out. That's a furnace. Now I know what 118 is. I closed the doors. Fuck it. I went back inside. So yeah.
Well, since we only have you for a little bit longer before the show ends, have you heard about the story about Cain Velasquez?
No, what?
He's in Santa Clara County Jail for the shooting that took place on Sunday. He was booked in on Monday because a relative of his was molested by a man, and Velasquez is a carry conceal holder, but still. And it's funny because over the weekend, I was originally going to go to San Jose for my friend's Lucha Wrestling show, and they invited Cain Velasquez there. All my friends were like taking pictures with him. I'm like, yeah, I should have went to the show after all. But I'm here at home on a Saturday night. But then the shooting happened, so it's probably a good thing I didn't go to that show. And they was like, oh my God, did you hear about Cain Velasquez? I'm like, well, yeah, it's everywhere.
Dude, he has been charged with attempted murder. Wow.
And now everybody's throwing out the hashtag Free Cain. But they've already charged him, so.
It's everything you said, Speedy. Based on this, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez is facing multiple charges, including attempted murder following an incident in San Jose, California on Monday. Velasquez was arrested and charged on Monday after allegedly shooting at another person who is being charged with molesting a relative of Velasquez, according to the Santa Clara District Attorney's Office. The person hit by the bullets was the stepfather of the accused and expected to survive his injuries. Oh! So wait, it was the stepfather that was molesting, or it was the stepfather of the one accusing or being accused of molesting the relative?
It was, the whole thing was about, the relative told Velasquez, well, so-and-so's doing this, and he's like, oh, what? Really? And he knew that his court case was pending, but Velasquez was like, well, I'll just go deal with it myself. The courts take too long. Anyway, that's, how people feel about the American justice system. But the thing was that Velasquez said, and his attorney said that they didn't know that there were other people in the car. Had they known that, he probably would have never done it. But then there's other people who are like, well, yeah, they should let him go because, the same thing happened a month and a half ago where their 4 kids were charged because their sister told them, well, Dad's doing this and that, and they were like, we're going to go beat up Dad because he shouldn't be doing that to you at all. And they got charged.
Wow. He just recently retired, man, I guess in 2019.
Well, it was because of the whole pandemic thing and WWE and their writers were like, well, we really don't have anything for you, so goodbye.
Wow.
Had they found another storyline for him or another Mexican wrestler to pair him with, it would have been okay, and he would still be with WWE right now. But the reason he was here, too, is because he actually owns a gym in San Jose. He does live down by you, but he has a gym up here that he runs.
Wow. Dude, did you guys... I didn't know the whole thing behind this. Coffee says, He's one of the toughest people to ever be in the UFC. Why would he bother with a gun? Just choke the dude out. Well, coffee. Look. Apparently, in addition, he's being accused because Velasquez, 39, fired a handgun multiple times into a truck carrying Harry Goularte and two older relatives and rammed the truck with his truck.
Mm-hmm. He used his own personal vehicle for that.
Okay, Goularte's male relative, 63, was struck once but expected to survive. Wow, this guy went ape shit. Wow. So he is being held without bail, and the other guy is released on his own recognizance. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And I should have, like I said, I should have went to that show though in San Jose. Maybe I could have got a picture with Cain Velasquez too, and that would have been awesome. Because generally, everybody thinks he's a real nice guy.
Did you notice how both Almighty and I both jerked around on that one?
Yeah.
He might be, but you know what? Look, the person that he went after was accused of molesting a family member. Okay, I'm not justifying anything, but wow, his life's over. It's over. He's gonna be in prison, not jail. He's gonna be in prison for a long time. Wow, that's crazy. That's just a shame.
Well, he's going to be back in court on Tuesday to be officially arraigned. That's what NBC Bay Area up here is reporting. So,
wow. All right. Well, fair enough. I do want to remind everyone. I don't want to, take that away. I will be leaving if these fine gentlemen, want to continue. They're more than welcome. I do want to say this: that National Rugby League in Australia has started already. We've got some cricket stuff going on, but at the end of round 1 in the Telstra Women's Premiership, the Dragons 20, Titans 12, Broncos 20-4 over the Roosters. The Eels edged the Knights. And in round 2, we have today the Knights and the Broncos at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Roosters visit the Titans. Dragons visit the Eels. And it's some good stuff. So the unreal NRL is starting up in Australia. Good stuff. Congratulations. And we'll be following them in a little bit. I wish some baseball stuff was good, but no,
not at all.
Baseball. It's going to be a while. I'm hoping not till July, but hey, if it's July, I get to go to Minnesota. That's all I'm going to say. So, but I am looking forward to it, folks. It's almost solid. My daughter finally committed. So my daughter will be going with me to Alaska. It's like, oh, did we wait to the last minute? So this is probably the longest I'm ever going to stay away from my older daughter, because we're leaving the 20th and we won't be back to the 28th. So, wow. The older one's going to stay. She doesn't want to go, but the younger one is going with me, and I'm looking forward to it. So there's a video. There's a YouTube video, which I'll post. It'll be on my personal page of these father-son duo that did a 6 to 8 day trip. And I think we're just going to copy it because they did a lot of good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. So, gentlemen, I do want to thank the big dog. I want to thank Speedy, Almighty, for joining me early this morning. I want to thank everyone in the chat room. Coffee, obviously. I want to thank Gridiron Girl, Tony Konopka. I want to thank Rosalind, Aisha, Gridiron Girl, Carlos. I also want to thank, we had 2 other commenters early on as well. I believe one was Ian. Thank you, Ian, for commenting earlier. And we also had, there's still one more, I know. Yeah, there was Ian, and then we had, Chris. Yes, thank you, Chris. So I think I may have gotten everyone that commented today. So I do want to thank everyone for doing that. But I'm going to have to go. I'm going to leave it to these gentlemen. They know what to do. Just hit the end broadcast when they're done. They might still be on when I'm done with this appointment. So I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to fix it up right now. Folks, thank you for spending your morning with us, or at least with me, because I'm bailing now. And I look forward to being able to see you guys again. Tentatively, the Sports Reporters is scheduled for Monday. So I'm going to have to contact everyone and see if they're going to join us or not. Yeah, tentatively there is a Sports Reporters, even though it's not scheduled. It's on the first Monday. I don't know, but it's very possible. So we'll see. All right, everyone else.
Keeper, don't work too hard today.
Yeah.
Based on what you've been through this morning, we already know.
Have a good one, Scorekeeper.
Hey, you know what? I can't be angry because everyone that walks through that door is paying for all my trips, so I cannot be angry whatsoever. They're paying my debts. They're paying my trips. So my chance, someone who's going to pay for one of my trips is driving 150 miles, and I sent him away for 30 minutes. You know how effed up that is?
And with today's gas prices.
Yeah. So I know he's going to be back very, very soon, but it's all good. Folks, I'm out. These two gentlemen are here. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the other side.
Well, that's Scorekeeper for you. You have to leave us. We now have command of the ship.
Yeah. Yep. I really the only thing that not the only thing, but that the Cowboys did reveal that Dak Prescott underwent off-season shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
So you saw that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd miss it, but that was one of those. Wasn't that one of those top secret things they didn't tell anybody?
Yeah, they tried keeping it a secret, but I think, well, thanks to you and everybody watching us right now, everybody knows now.
Yeah. Well, it only affected his non-throwing shoulder, so it shouldn't be such a big deal. So I don't see that going on. I mean, it's the only thing I had left. I really didn't. I think I was. So I guess if you have any quick wrestling news you want to get to, or anything else, if you want to. I mean, I know you're the big wrestling guy. You and the big dog.
Yep. Well, WWE, as of last night, had just removed content from all Russian television operatives because of what's going on with Ukraine. So they're like, we don't want any part of this invasion. So we're going to pull our network. Sorry. Which means all the people in Russia won't get a break from the real world. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the news where things are being blown up, and I mean, that's crazy because I can't imagine, coming home and seeing my TV blow up. Now I can't watch TV.
Right.
And half my house.
Everybody is abandoning the Russians, Soviet Union, whatever. But without the wrestling for them, it's going to, disappoint the rest of the population. So they're going to get pissed pretty soon because they're not going to be able to have anything from outside world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what else you got there, Speedy?
Well, the other thing that Vince McMahon brought up on the Pat McAfee show on Pat McAfee's YouTube channel, and Pat McAfee said, I've got some interesting news here, Vince. What's going on with this here? Are you really inducting The Undertaker for the Hall of Fame? And Vince was like, well, yeah, I don't really want to be the one to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. People might not like it. And like, and, of course, people on Facebook comment, on YouTube comment, why can't we have this guy? Why can't we have that guy? Why can't we have all these people that started with The Undertaker when he first broke into WWE 30 years ago. And people even mentioned Paul Bearer. Well, it would be nice if Paul Bearer was the one inducting Undertaker into the Hall of Fame, but he can't induct Mark Calloway into the Hall of Fame if he's dead. And half these people are also gone for other reasons. I mean, they were supposed to have Steve Austin make an appearance, and people are like, yeah, Pat McAfee's going to wrestle either Kevin Owens or Steve Austin at WrestleMania because of Kevin Owens. Every week on Raw, he's been saying different derogatory things about the state of Texas to try and procrastinate with Steve Austin. But Austin said on his own podcast, I'm not coming to WrestleMania. I'm not even going down there to wrestle. It's like, yeah. I knew that wasn't going to happen. That would be nice if he showed up to give Kevin Owens a taste of his own medicine, since he is the one that inadvertently stole the stunner move from Austin without consulting him first. But Austin said he's only going to watch WrestleMania. He's not going to be there in person at all. But what do you think? Do you think about Vince inducting Undertaker into the Hall of Fame? How do you feel about that?
Well, I thought he would already be in there.
I did too.
I mean, I guess that's a shocker. I mean, I have seen, and I've seen wrestling. I've seen when the Undertaker took on Foley in that cage match, and he just threw him off that stage, and he hit that table and was unconscious. And you're like, oh my God, what the fuck did he just do? Just boom, motherfucker on the ground. That was crazy. But so I mean, for the guy, I just would have figured he was put in a long time ago because he's been in the industry for so long. You just assume, if you don't follow it closely, that you see that the Undertaker is a big draw and you'd already be in there. This is a shame, really. I mean, this, to me, it's unthinkable, but I don't run it. So they better get him in. Does he still do his once a year gig at WrestleMania? Undertaker?
No, Survivor Series was the last stop for him. But it sucked because, remember, there were no fans in the arena because of the pandemic.
Right.
But he still showed up, and they still were like, yeah, we need you to make an appearance. Personally, I would have had him wait out another Survivor Series year to have that match where actual people were in the building versus watching virtually. So, because they were also doing the fake crowd noise that, for most of those shows anyways. So it's like, right. Well, watching Survivor Series, but you can't really react with the other fans because they're not actually in the building. So it ruined the moment. And now they're doing the induction, and this time people are going to be in the building. But, well, maybe they can get Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase was Undertaker's first manager when he first came to WWE.
Right. So
we'll see.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, or Big Dog, what you thought of The Rock's intro of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was also it was a very good, promo that he did. But it just came down to people, again, I see people in Facebook comments, people on YouTube comments, and the internet in general were like, oh, you didn't do your line. You didn't do your, do you smell what The Rock is cooking line? And it's like, well,
yeah.
Why are you pissed off about that? This is the NFL. The NFL, much like every other business, they have their rules and their own regulations. Their rule was just cut a quick promo about the Super Bowl and how great it is. That's it.
Exactly.
And he was like, okay, well, I can do that.
Yeah, it's all about that. I mean, it's all about the Super Bowl, not about anybody else. I mean, they don't want no one else getting in their way. But I like the promo too. I thought it was pretty cool that they went that route with introducing the Super Bowl as it was a wrestling match. Which it is. There's a lot of hitting on out there, so you might as well call it as it is. But so he did a good job. So
yeah, he did a good job.
And plus, since his XFL is going to be working with the NFL, it kind of made sense too, because XFL is going to be like their minor league, something like it. I mean, they are working together, so we'll see what happens with that. So,
because if you go back and watch that, you'll hear all the fans in the arena going, "If you smell what the," but that's where he cuts it off, and people are like, "Oh, why didn't you finish it? Why didn't you go there?" It's like, well, he's not going to go there because it's a football show. It's the Super Bowl. You're not at a wrestling event. This is not Raw or SmackDown. It's not even a wrestling pay-per-view. This is the Super Bowl. There's no reason to put the whole entire wrestling annex because, as you and I just mentioned, that's not what they wanted him to do. They just wanted him to do a quick thing and basically promote the whole Super Bowl to the world that's watching, which is why they gave him that one camera guy to go directly up to his face and go, "This is the Super Bowl, the home Mecca," and that was it. But people were still pissed off that he didn't do it. His whole "if you smell what the walk and cooking" catchphrase. Like, well, that's not what was in the cards, and they didn't want that anyways.
Well, they're always going to complain about something, so you're not going to win for losing. Because if he would have said his line, he would have said, "Well, there's The Rock. He's taking advantage of the Super Bowl to promote himself." So either way, he's doomed, and he knows it too. So
yeah.
Plus, he probably wants to be asked back to do it again with. Well, like I said, they're partners now with the NFL, XFL, NFL. They have a partnership somewhat. So I mean, that's made sense for him to be on there to promote that league and his league and of course the NFL. So it was pollination. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and then we talked about this last week, me and Big Dawg. You guys remember, because it's like every time the staff and production staff or anybody goes to Vince and they're like, "So what are we doing tonight?" "Well, actually, here's the script and here's what I think needs to happen." And then Vince will go, "Okay, well, that's fine. We can do that." And then 30 minutes into the show, he just runs off and starts tearing papers. Nope. We're not doing any of that tonight. We're scratching all that. I don't like that after all. And someone, I posted about that. I mean, you heard me talk about that earlier when I said that last night on SmackDown, where Michael Cole, in his mind, because Michael Cole, legitimately to me, I'm sure the rest of the world, because they don't like him either, like I don't, but he tries to make up these stories in his own mind. Pat McAfee, we've never had a winner-take-all match ever in the history of our company. Like, and that's why I posted that on Facebook. I'm like, no, you're an idiot. We have. We've had plenty of winner-take-all matches in the history of WWE. Look at your own network. Watch your own videos. Most of that stuff you actually were commentating on. Michael Cole, you idiot.
Jeez. Wow.
So, but there's also tension because now that they put, champion versus champion, and one title's got to go at WrestleMania, it'll be either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. So the WWE title's going to go, or the Universal title is going to be vacated, never be seen again on television. So the writers are like, we kind of shouldn't have did that because now we basically screwed ourselves. Thanks to Vince, too. Like, well, yeah, you did screw that up. I mean, they've tried to do that with the 24/7 title, but the 24/7 title is meaningless now because, well, I mean, still anybody can win it. But when it originally started out from Tommy Dreamer himself, when they were like, well, can we call it the Hardcore 27 title? Sure, yeah, let's do that. And you had weapons, you had kendo sticks, you could even use a brick if you wanted to win the 24/7 Hardcore title. But because of the whole PG era and everybody jumping down Vincent's butt, you can't do this. It's too violent for kids. Kids are watching this. Well, do what my parents did. Make sure we're in bed by 8 o'clock because then kids can't see it. Well, except for this week. I don't know about, Coffee's era or anybody else in the chat room or where you're at, Almighty, but all this week, for whatever reason, even though President's Day was last week, none of the kids had school this week, and I'm like, And I talked with my sister in town today. I talked with my other sister who lives in Dublin, California. I got all these messages too from my cousins and other relatives, and we were basically talking about we don't ever remember them going, okay, well, it's middle of March, but there's no school this week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why I can't do 8 to 9 as safe for kids, and then at 9 o'clock they post that warning like everybody else does. It says due to the content not recommended for younger viewers. That way they cover their butt. If that's what you want to do, is get in there and get really heavy hitting in there. I mean, there are other options, but I think 8 o'clock isn't that still supposedly some kind of family time or whatever? So I don't think anything. I don't know regulations anymore, but I'm just saying, if it's going to be, they'll warn somebody before they start the program that it might not be suitable for, which will I guess would hurt the kid fans because that's their big fan base of theirs. They don't want to turn them away.
Yeah. I mean, they could generally do that. That's an idea.
But there's a solution out there nowadays, but they probably don't want to lose the ratings because if kids watch it, because that is anyway, the fan base.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what would happen anyways. It'd be like,
yeah. So how long is that on?
Well, you got to remember, Monday is a 3-hour Raw. That's why I said you brought up a good point. They could do that, or 8 to 9 could be for the kids, and then the parents should be like, okay, well, you had your 1 hour of wrestling fix. It's time to go to bed, and then 9 to 11. The rest of the show can be wild and crazy for us adults because all the kids are asleep.
Yeah, supposedly, but they're all up texting, so who knows? Or gaming. So I guess if they're gaming, they wouldn't be paying attention or doing both. But
yeah.
But anyway, I can see their point, and I know we want to get a good dose of violence before we go to bed every night. So I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, but then they also shot themselves in the foot because, I mean, Vince hires all these Hollywood writers. It used to be real wrestling writers, but in the 90s, he's like, "Oh, I like that movie. Who's the writer for that movie?" And they'll be, "Oh, so and so. He's the one that wrote that movie. Well, bring him over to WWE. I want his opinion. He can write out the show for Raw and SmackDown for me. But they don't know wrestling. They don't get it because they've only known Hollywood movies, and wrestling is not Hollywood.
True. It is not.
And so, like I said, they're basically doing two of the same matches at WrestleMania. If you watched SmackDown last night, then you know what I'm talking about. Charlotte Flair is going to wrestle Ronda Rousey for the title. Charlotte Flair says she can still beat her because of all the injuries that Ronda had. And
So
Becky,
when does that take place?
well, I wish Big Dog was here, but Big Dog, if you're anti-listening, then that they said that instead of a 2-night event, it will take place on April 1st on Sunday night.
Okay.
So apparently they're going back to the original format where it will not be a 2-night event. Because, after all, you're essentially paying for 2 nights of wrestling, which a lot of people don't have money for right now.
Oh, no.
Would you?
What's
Almighty,
that?
would you?
2 nights of wrestling?
Yeah, like say if today was WrestleMania and tonight was night 1 and tomorrow's night 2, would you pay for either night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania?
Do you know the price range on that?
Oh yeah, it's about $50, and then plus whatever cable and satellite taxes your state charges you on your cable bill.
I don't know. You mean, is it $50 for the 2 nights or the 1 night?
I think it's for the 2 nights. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's $25 a night, or what? Oh, maybe with fees it's closer to 30 or whatever. But I don't know. It depends. If you could pick your night, I'd probably pick the best night.
Yeah.
If I don't know, it's probably not going to happen. They're probably going to say, "Look, you get the 2 nights, $50, take it or leave it, and let us get our money." And hope so. I'm not. It depends. I wouldn't mind seeing Ronda Rousey go at it, and whoever, I don't know who else is on the bill, but if it seems like it's going to be a fun night or a couple nights, I might do it. But it'd be like my splurge for the year.
Yeah. But they're apparently going back to just the 1 night only thing.
All right.
So we'll see what happens. That could change, knowing Vince. I want to change it. Go back to 2 nights.
But you're right. With inflation going up, it's hard to put out $50 every week or however it works out. But because on top of your cable bill, you got to pay the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's only so much money to go around for some of us.
Exactly. You're exactly right about that.
So you got to pick and choose. So.
I'm sure everyone is also dismayed and a little pissed off because of the way AEW started on Wednesday. And I like all these memes where the other Tony Khan is being put in a picture meme with Tony Khan of AEW. They're trying to recreate the whole WCW thing. But this is not WCW. But Tony Khan is the new owner. He told the world before AEW, as they came on the air, that he's the new owner. He bought out ROH. And there's rumors saying that they're going to make it a territory system. There's rumors saying he's trying to get them a deal with HBO Plus, which is still national television.
Right.
But if he turns ROH into a territory, then that just basically means whatever area they're in, you basically go to their show because it won't be seen on television, or on pay-per-view.
Right.
You'll just see pictures of it on their Facebook page or something. Look what happened last night.
Or just quick clips on YouTube.
Yeah. But if he decides, I hope Tony Khan keeps in contact with the people at HBO Plus.
So he's still shopping around?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when Todd St. Clair owned it, that's the direction he was headed for anyways. So he slowly handed those reins over to Tony Khan. And I mean, if they make it a developmental territory, I guess I could be okay with that. But then Tony's also thinking, after what he said on Wednesday, I'm a big fan of ROH. I have been for years. I've loved them. And this is my way of respecting them and their legacy. But it's like, well, there's other promoters that have done that over the years. I respect your legacy. I'll never diminish it. I won't tarnish your name. But they end up doing it anyway. Like, well, why did you buy the company if you knew you were going to do that? You knew full well in the back of your mind, I'm going to damage this company. That would be like me saying, well, okay, Almighty, I won't embarrass your name. I won't do any of this. But I now own the copyrights and everything else to your name. I'll keep it up front. I'll keep it right here in my hand. But then let's say 6 months later, I'm like, this guy Almighty sucked and he was terrible and he didn't do anything right.
Well, that's true. So
let's just bury his name and be done with it and never use it again. Which is what's happened with, every promotion that had been on. The NWA got trashed. AWA got trashed, and you never hear those promotion names anymore. Once in a while, you'll hear a WWE commentator mention, oh, well, we did this when WCW was around. We got, like going back to last year for the Hall of Fame last year.
Yeah. Well,
the ECW originals, the Dudley Boys are going to be in the Hall of Fame. But other than that, you don't really hear too much of them talking about WCW or ECW anymore because they buried all those promotions.
Yeah. Well, there's that post that says tickets are anywhere from $30 to $3,000. So.
Yep. Now it's a high price ticket. Coffee, you can afford that.
That looks kidding. Like it. Jeez, I guess $30 is probably what outside the state, outside the arena. Wow, that's quite a gap, though.
Yeah, well, I know from experience that between $25 and $20, $20 and $25 will get you in the nosebleed cheap seats. I've sat up there a few times when I didn't have money. I'm like, well, here's my last $20. I'll just sit in the cheap seat. But then you can't really see anything except the TV monitor.
Well, you can get those high-tech binoculars to go in there and get a little closer.
Yeah.
But what's the fun in that? You want to see the live action, not...
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to do that, you might as well watch it on TV. That way you get the close-ups. So.
Exactly.
But that's up to each person, though, if that's what they want to do. If they're that into it. Here we go. $300 in 1999. Go to SummerSlam.
Yeah, well, front row ticket, Coffee. That's That's what they charge for front row at most promotions. I'm sure AEWs are about the same, if not cheaper. I mean, I've been to plenty of independent wrestling shows, and it's like $35 is in the front row. Well, they got to make their money somehow, right? So.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the game.
Yeah. Oh, and you also paid for the folding chair that you got to take home with you. Yeah. That's one way. Yeah, that's a souvenir. Coffee, I'm sure you know this already, but don't ever hit nobody with that chair. Otherwise, there goes your value with the with the chair.
Don't want to get too many butt prints on it.
Exactly. That's your main trophy right there. Who knows? Maybe in 5 years, maybe now that chair is worth a lot of money.
Well, it's what, 23 years old? So
what did you say?
I said it's what, 23 years old? If you got it at 99, so
yeah, 99. Yeah, it's about 22, 23 years old.
Almost 25th anniversary for that chair.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Well, I got to take off here, Speedy. So, unless you want to stay by yourself, but we can pick this up next time.
Coffee said, no, it's just hanging in my parents' garage. Well, that's a good place for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, we can all pick it back up next week.
You're gonna be back on next week?
Yeah.
Okay, I know that you have that work schedule that you got to do, so I don't know what. Sometimes you don't make a week or two. Then I'm guilty of that too. So
yeah,
I can't say much about it. So I guess I just like to thank everybody for listening, and everybody have a safe and fun week. And if you find a good sale, you better take advantage of it. So.
Yep, make sure everyone to watch AEW Revolution tomorrow on pay-per-view. That'll be a good one. Speedy
has spoken.
Yes, I have. And people want to hear me more than you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. The bragging, let's not brag. It's not nice to brag.
All right, everyone in the chat room, take care.
Good day.